2021, I started the Wanderers. At the time, I just saw there's a big gap where people weren't having the opportunity to really be able to reach out, create social connections, get out and enjoy the outdoors together. Now, we're legitimately helping people, but we just wanted to be able to create a space for people that was just going to make them feel safe.
Jesse. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. It's good to see you, bro.
You too.
How you been?
Fucking flat out.
Yeah, same.
Flat out, but living 9 minutes from home now is great because I got to go home and have a wash before this one.
Oh, dude, that's living the dream.
Started off right, mate. Cheers for coming down, buddy.
No worries, man. It's good to catch up and have a beer.
Yeah, good to see you again. Look, for anybody with the keen eyes that's watching this one, we got the Method race wheels, custom 5 off, little buddy coasters. Not available for purchase anyway.
No, I'm getting some. 100%. That's cool. I like it.
You looking good, mate. Fighting fit.
Fighting fit, yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Been flat out as yourself.
Yeah.
The business is just keeping us all on our toes. I think that's the industry at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard January for a lot of people was pretty slow. Being that I'm just me, like I take a slow day where I can fucking get it. So,
100%.
but yeah, it seems like I don't know. Everybody was just kind of still a bit asleep after the Christie break, and February fired back up. So, you guys have that?
Yeah, I think maybe the first week or two.
Yeah.
January, it's kind of like holidays just lasted a little bit longer for some people.
Yeah.
So I think once we kind of eased into the year, from there it's just been running since, which is great. It's awesome, you know.
So for anybody that doesn't know your face and all your bit of backstory, we got you. You're here as much as you with a mutual friend, Barney up at Legendex.
Yep.
We got you down for the Wanderers. So why don't you give us a bit of background on the Wanderers and all the good stuff you're doing with them, so everybody knows what we're talking about when we start referencing shit.
Yeah, 100%. So, look, this is 2021. I started the Wanderers. The idea behind it was, at the time, I just saw there's a big gap where people weren't having the opportunity to really be able to reach out, create social connections, get out and enjoy the outdoors together. You know, bit of a backstory before that. For me, I had a real struggle with mental health. It was pretty bad. You know, so much so I was hospitalized. You know, I went through a period where I attempted suicide. Things for me were just not working. You know, I was a chef. I had 15 venues. Life was hard. I got 3 young boys at home. Nothing was working.
Yeah.
And I just after COVID, I just went through this huge reset period. I think everyone did, you know, after COVID. But I took a bit of time off work after my challenges with my mental health. And I just decided that kind of, this isn't what I want to do, and this isn't who I want to be. As much as I love cooking, I still miss the industry, miss my boys. Shout out to them all in the kitchens. Probably still grinding. I just couldn't do it anymore, man. I missed my kids. Like every day I just got home and they were asleep, you know. Yeah. And I just went, no, I can't do this. And, you know, I had my first kind of phobia, and I was like, oh, really, I miss the outdoors. I want to get back out. And I had no mates to do it with, man. Like, being a chef, you just lose all your friends.
Yeah, it's a tight-knit group.
Yeah. And all my friends were always working, and I was like, this sucks. This 100% sucks. And I caught up with a friend of mine who's, like, his name's Matty, man. One of my best mates. Like, he's like my brother. Yeah. And I hadn't seen him for years, you know. And just, you know, as we do, we drifted apart. But I'd been best mates with him since I was probably like 13 or 14. And I caught up with him. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And it was at like the MAXTRAX open day or something. Literally just bumped into him. Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, man, I'm really thinking about starting something like a social group where people can just hang out and talk wheeling and cars and who's got a sick rig and, hey, who can you talk to about a mad exhaust or, you know, whatever it might be. Yeah. And at the time, there just wasn't a lot of that going on. Yeah. And so we started playing with names, and we're like, we'll call ourselves like the Northside Yowies. That's sick. Right. A bunch of hillbillies in the bush. That's going to make people feel super welcome. Right. And we just played with the idea and kind of played with what we wanted it to be. Yeah. And for me, going through that journey with my mental health, I needed that support, that friendship circle, and I knew other people needed that. Yeah. And it wasn't until literally my wife one day, she made me climb Mount Tippergargan, right? I've been talking about it for years. She finally is like, we're doing it. Get up there. I'm a big boy. I cried, right? Getting up this mountain is not something a guy my size should probably be doing. Right. But I got up there and I just went, wow, hang on. this is life-changing. This is something that can really take you away from all the things that are in your life right now, all the things that are challenging, all the crap that's going on, and you just look at a view and you go, fuck, bro, this is beautiful. This is amazing. This is what I'm on this earth for.
Yeah.
And it was that moment where I just went, I've got to do something with this. I've got to share this with people, you know. And I had a lot of friends going through similar things, and I'd met people, and I thought, okay, how can we get together and do this? So we started with our men's circles, and our men's circles was a great opportunity, just boys being boys, sitting around talking rigs and just chatting. Then from there, we started bringing in some actual counselors, people who actually know what they're talking about,
right?
And going, dude, like, hang on, let's support this man in this space, and let's guide him through this journey he's going on. Let's take his hand and let's be on this journey with him.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just been a roller coaster, because I've had certain people like Maddie, John, my whole group of admins. Like, I won't stand here and name them all, but I have to now. Like Henry, Charlie, my wife, obviously. They've all been such a figurehead in this role and in this development of this group, that now we're legitimately helping people. You know, not just raising money with charities and just going wheeling. You know, we've got lines set up so you can pick up the phone and just talk to someone. You know, talk to someone that you might have met on a 4B trip. We've got general chats where you can jump in and just go, I need some guidance. I'm doing my 12 volt at home. Who's done this? Yeah. You know, so it's got this huge broad spread, but we really ultimately at the heart of it, we just wanted to be able to create a space for people that was just going to make them feel safe. Give them the confidence to be able to go out, go wheeling, go camping. Yeah. You know, but there's a long story in that. I think that's already a pretty long story, isn't it?
No, look, it's. I mean, you can we can unpack it as far as you want to go. Like, yeah, great. You want a cooler?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Grab a cooler.
Yeah, the boys.
There you go.
And carbon.
I think it's one of those. It's a rock and a hard place for some people, because there's still, for whatever reason, seems to be a bit of that stigma around asking for someone for help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because for whatever reason, it's been, I don't know, I don't even know what the words would be, but it's like it's been over dramatized to ask for help.
Yeah.
You know, so people are not even, you know, reaching out, or it gets this other side of it, which is, you know, all piss weak, and, you know, people don't want to come across that way. And that's why I kind of say it the way it is. Like, when I need something, it's, I go, oh, fuck yeah. Like, you know, I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Also because he knows me well enough to know when I'm having a, you know, a rant.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus, you know,
shit's going on.
I need to bounce something off you. You know?
And that's such an important thing, like,
especially if you don't have it in your close circle.
It, yeah,
for sure. I think what you're doing is awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Like, when we've started in the group, just a little thing, and we started it years ago, and that's exactly right. Reaching out's the hardest thing. You know, when you got a buddy that you talk to all the time, you know, they already know it before you say it, man. Yeah. You know, but when you don't, and you kind of need that space, it's really hard to put your hand up and go, shit's fucked. I need someone to talk to. Yeah. I need someone to cry to, you know? Yeah. And blokes, we don't do that real well at all. No. Like, we're not good at it.
I find it comes out, though.
It does.
You hold it in and it'll come out somewhere. Yeah, yeah. I remember watching fucking something with my daughter, watching some cartoon, and I don't know what happened. I can't even remember what the cartoon was. But I found myself getting teary, and I'm like, oh, God, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like,
dude,
you know, like, it's like it'll find a way to come out if you don't address it.
Oh, man, Lion King for me every time. I don't know about you, man, but Lion King every fucking time. Like, I can't watch it with my sons anymore, like, as much as I love it. Yeah. But it's an important thing for your sons to see you cry, for your children to see you cry. It's opening up your heart, man. You know, giving them the opportunity to go, hang on, Dad's vulnerable. Yeah. You know, Dad needs a hug.
Yeah, it gives them the comfort that to know that it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know when it is. At some point, though, as kids will cry and be emotional and be open, and at some point it's like, once you, as a guy, maybe once you start getting around your peer group, and you know, the testosterone kicks in, and, you know, then someone's bigger than someone else, and you're like, oh, I don't want to come across, you know, like I'm having a whinge or whatever. And it's at some point, must be around that kind of 11, 12, 13 that it starts to become.
I think it starts earlier, man.
You reckon?
Yeah, because and we've all done it, you know, like out in the yard with Dad, you know, you might be, I don't know, putting steaks in the garden, you hit your thumb with the big old hammer, and Dad goes, "You'll be right, princess."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For a lot of us men, we spend time with our dads a fair bit, you know, when we're kids, you know, doing just boy stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And sadly, part of that is it's a generational thing that, you know, and I won't go into all these studies or anything, but it's something that we speak about a lot within the group, is how when we're spending our time with our fathers, especially from our generation up older, it's something that it's kind of passed down to us, is to have this "I'm tough" attitude.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we all want to be badasses when in our kids' eyes, you know. Yeah. But I think vulnerability in the eyes of your children is such an important thing, you know.
Letting them know that it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, you know, I've said this on here a few times. It's like it's time and place. Whether you're doing burnouts, whether you're, you know, punching second in, you know, 4 low, you know, up a track.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to have an emotional moment, it's like it's time and place, because there's also a time and place for the opposite. There's also a time 100%. And place for put your big boy pants on and phrases like "man up," because I think there's a lot of it, you know, gets the piss taken out of it as well, where people lean on that and use it as an excuse.
Yes, and you're exactly right, man. I completely agree with you. Like, it's something you're seeing, you know, in this whole woke movement, you know, a lot of younger generations now, and they're leaning on this soft, sensitive nature, and that's great. To me, I believe be who you are, man. You know, be who you are. That's what's first and foremost important. But I see it a lot, and I say to young men all the time, your inner warrior's got to be there. You know, he's got to be able to take you through war, and sometimes life feels like war. Yeah. And then at the other time, you need your inner compassion, and you need that mother figure, you know, inside going, "It's all good, you know, it's okay, we'll get through this."
There's an interesting, there's a line. I want to say I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say it's Sun Tzu. I want to say it's the art of war, but it's something like you're better off being a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah, I believe that is the art of war.
Yeah, so
it's like a perfect saying.
It is, and you know, I'd rather teach myself to be calm than teach myself how to be strong.
Yes.
You know, I think there's a lot. My man was a bit of a dick in some respects, but, you know, fuck, whose wasn't? But, you know, he was a dairy farmer's son. He was a hard man at times. I get the shit kicked out of me as a young fella. But it did two things. It showed me what not to do.
Yep. Taught you resilience.
Yeah, taught me resilience and all that. But so I got the lessons of some stuff of what not to do, but I also got a lot of good in the ability to suck it up and keep going.
Yeah.
You know, I want my son to feel safe to come to me and tell me something's hard, but I also want him strong enough to hear, you know, come on, that's enough.
Yeah. But also give it a crack, you know. Yeah. Have the confidence to go, I reckon I can do this, you know, and give it a, and if he makes a mistake, go, "Hey, Dad, look, I gave it a crack.
Yeah.
I fucked it up.
Yeah.
But can you show me how to fix it?"
Yeah, and that's really important. And I don't know where I got that from. Probably Dad as well. But like mine's always been, I would rather try and fail than not try.
Exactly right,
you know,
100%.
My personality is the unknown, and the limbo will kill me.
Yeah, like I'm exactly the same.
I would rather know it won't work because it didn't work than wonder.
Yeah.
Because that will drive me up a wall.
Yeah, so, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably needs to be, as whenever you give the okay to be vulnerable, you also need to back that up with, as long as you're willing to be told when it's time to let that shit go and keep moving forwards.
And that's a hard thing to do sometimes, like sitting in circle with men, you know, and look, I'm not the oldest bloke in the room most of the time, you know.
What are you now? Are you like 32?
32, on the nose.
There you
go.
go.
Look at you go. Oh, yeah, cheers.
Well, yeah, cheers. Fucking, we got 11 years on this prick.
Yeah, in all my youth. So one of my facilitators, like he's like 60 odd, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, he's like my oracle, you know, like he's quite a quiet gentleman, you know, and he put his hand up, give some feedback. Yeah. But he's also the first to turn around and go, "Now look, Jesse, you need to harden the fuck up and get over it.
Yeah.
You're bitching about something that is out of your control.
Yep.
You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you need to get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
And move on with your life.
Yep.
And that is sometimes just what you need. You
Yeah.
know, we all need a kick in the ass sometimes.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's a time and a place. Time and a place.
Yeah, it's time and a place for both. I think it's not taking either too far.
Yeah.
Having both available. You know, it's jabs and haymakers.
Yeah.
You know, the right thing, the right time, and knowing. I think that's probably the hardest part is you can feel a certain emotion of overwhelming or whatever, and maybe not know what you need.
Yep.
But that's where either someone that knows you through and through, or you've got a network to work through it, which is like what you've created there. And I mean, that's the thing is it might start as a network of people that you don't know, but it'll develop into a network that you do.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's something we see all the time at the events, man. Like we get people come along and like just one example, we had this one member come along, reached out to me, hey man, I'm super nervous. I'm really excited. I've followed you since day one and never come out to anything. And I went, okay, man, what are you doing, dude? Come wheeling with me.
Yeah.
Most quiet, timid bloke I'd ever met. Beautiful manners, beautiful human being. Came out, epic rig, epic 80 series, 35s, twin locked, ready to rock and roll.
Was he nervous about the actual fall driving or the
people
interaction, the people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we got there, we were a bit of morning, all having our coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was so in his shell, he was just so reserved.
Yeah.
And straight away I knew I've got to get this guy, get him under my wing. Come on, dude. Yeah, all right. You've got the most capable rig here.
Yeah.
What have you driven? Oh, I've done this. I've done Big Red. I've done this. I've done this. Oh, okay, awesome, cool.
Yeah.
You're going to drive everyone today.
Yeah.
You're going to drive right at the front of the pack.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, you sure? Like, 100%, dude. How do you feel about bearing the flag today? We always have like a bit of a sand flag,
Yeah.
And it's got the logo on it. So because there's so many of us, it just helps people see, a bit of a convoy.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, man, he was wheeling some gnarly tracks and doing it with the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, like he's piling out of the cars going, all right, we're all going to dinner at the pub. Who's coming?
Right.
And literally, he was like the star of the show by the end of the day.
Came out of his shell.
Man, it was beautiful to see, And now he's such a huge member of the crew. But that's all we need sometimes, is that little bit of guidance, a bit of a push to jump out of your shell and give it a crack.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it's because, some people need permission to be
Themselves.
Well, themselves, but it's like to break that down a little bit more. Like some personalities feel some big personalities feel the need to sort of have permission to be soft.
Yeah.
And some of the softer personalities kind of need permission to be loud.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just there's more and more out there that I think there's a lot of personalities out there now that you see that are loud to be loud.
Oh yeah, man.
That are just that whole look at me, grab attention, whatever. But in quiet time, they're probably a lot more sedate.
Yes.
And I think it's like it's just we've spoken about this on this so many times. It's just being genuine.
Yeah.
When you're
authentically you.
Yeah, when you're just being you, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'm not a hype man, but I'm also not, going to sit here and read poetry. Like wherever I fit, I don't care. It's just we're talking, Little Mick, we're talking about finding your audience.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's like Discovery back in the day would spend time and money on creating a show that they know people would watch.
Yeah.
Now it's like you create you and your audience will find you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it's the same thing with groups. It's like there's probably a lot of different groups out there on different platforms that you might go and have a look at and go, it's not for me.
Yep.
But when you find the right one, it's like, well, there you go. You know, and that group of people together, as long as it doesn't get into that, like too heavy into the closed group, don't access other information. Where it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of shit.
Oh, man. I've been out with some groups that it's like joining a cult, dude. Like, we can't talk about this. You can't tell anyone this track. We're going to get you to sign this. And you're like, holy shit, dude, I thought we were going to the beach, man. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, fuck that.
yeah, it's silly.
Open, honest, genuine, and having fun. I think that's
That's what it's all about, man.
Do you guys do camping much, or is it just day trips?
No, actually, we do a lot of camping. So a lot of the time, like what we'll try and do is we try and do it like once a year.
Yep.
So we'll do something like the Tread National Breast Cancer event.
Yep.
That's one we're doing this year. And that's already a huge event. But you know, we spoke with the guys at with Chris and Tread, and then spoke to Lucas at the Springs and said, you know, we want to make this our annual camp out for the year. It's already a great cause. I'm already going every year, obviously working.
Yep.
I've been every year. I think it's great. Why not bring my entire crew? And Lucas is like, yeah, dude, 100%. You know, to be able to put that in front of a crew of people, and some of them never been camping before. Yeah. You know, so it's cool. And in a safe environment like Springs, you know, Lucas has got probably the best toilets in any campsite you'll ever see.
Right.
Hot showers that will burn you, man. They're awesome.
Yeah.
It's borderline glamping. Like I love going to the Springs because I literally just take a swag, a frying pan, a little cooker, and an esky full of beer and food, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing this year. Other times, like the guys have planned and gone out to places like Black Butte and various different campsites, but we try and keep it fairly tame because it's a family-orientated group.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. And we always try and seek permission first as well. So Black Butte's that area, the state forestry and the national parks, we've reached out to them before, and you know they've said, oh, actually, there's a heap of people being booked down there. Yeah. Can you do it this weekend? Absolutely. You know, we're looking at there's going to be maybe 50 people. We're camping out there. This is what we're doing. We're going to explore some tracks. We're going to maybe do some fossicking by the water. Just random, you know, camping fun, you know.
Hell yeah.
We're going to whittle some sticks and make some chairs. You know, literally, dude. Like, we try and keep it super family-oriented, you know, and a bit of fun. You know, we get the kids and teach them how to make twine. Okay. You know, just fun little bushcraft things where all the other parents can go and have a bit of me time around the fire, and a couple of the parents who are, you know, a bit more experienced in the outdoors will turn around and go, all right, all you kids, come with me. We're going gold fossicking.
Right.
We never find anything, but the kids think it's great.
Yeah. You should just go down like an hour before and just start flicking in dollar coins.
You know? Well, look, I said to my wife, I said this year, next time we go camping, I said I'm going to go to like Bunnings and get a heap of just little pebbles. Yeah. And I'm just going to spray paint them all gold.
Right.
And the boys will just think it's great. Yeah, well, now they've said that, they're going to watch this. They're going to go, Dad, you bastard.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it's at with kids, man. Like being a kid again, taking them away from all the technology and just putting raw experiences in front of them.
Absolutely.
Like how many kids now are just spending countless hours on technology, you know, and I don't want to be that guy. Like we all want it. We all want to have a scroll and, you know, chill and watch some YouTube. But I think it's such an important part of being a kid is just being a kid, jumping in muddy holes and fighting each other with sticks and throwing rocks at your mates. Like, you know, how often do you see actually kids do that these days?
No, it's definitely been a big shift, and it's, I mean, the schools are part of that as well, because, you know, there's a lot of the curriculums on tablets and you know, and whatever else as well. Like I feel like when we went through school, I feel like there was still a typing class.
Yeah, when I was
it wasn't there?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when we year 8 or something when we were doing a bit of everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like that's, you know,
yeah. Man, I remember when we got our first Mac computer.
Yeah.
So like I went to Pine Rivers High.
Okay.
And I think we won it in, you know, some local thing. I think it's like the bottle cap. Remember the milk bottle cap thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something like that. We had this Mac computer, and you had to literally go and sign this thing and schedule a half an hour period to have a play on the Mac, which was completely guided by a teacher.
Right.
And because none of us had like Apple products, like as kids, we're all like, what the hell is this? Like, what does this button do? This isn't like a normal keypad, you know? Yeah. But nowadays, like, you know, I'm 32 and I'm fairly technologically abled, but I'm still going to my son going, hey, dude, like, how do I do a backup on my PlayStation?
Yeah.
And my boy's like, dude, you should know this, Dad. Come on. Like, and he's 10 walking me through this. Like, we're jumping on Fortnite, and he's like, Dad, do you know who the Red Hot Chili Peppers are? I'm like, yeah, dude, but how do you know who they are? Fortnite.
Skin.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So there's positives and negatives of it, you know. Parts of it is great. Like my son came to me and said, Dad, I really like Metallica after they were on Fortnite. I was like, I really don't like Metallica, but I'm happy to explore that avenue of music with you.
Right.
Let's do that. We'll go and bought some old records. Let's do it old school. We're going to sit in front of the record player. I'm going to dig some old school metal.
Yeah, right.
And that's such a good father-son moment, you know.
Yeah, I think, the technology bridge for us to our kids is obviously a lot closer than our parents to us.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, again, Dad was a dairy farmer's son. Like they were, you know, going out and standing in fresh cow shit in the morning to warm up their toes. Walking to school uphill both ways.
Yeah.
You know? It's like
While all my fingers were frozen.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
it was 25 kilometers.
yeah. But, you know, because what did we have? We had like the Nintendos and Mega Drives and all that sort of stuff. So we had something,
Yep.
you know, and then, oh God, I want to say I was late teens, mid to late teens when the first PlayStation came out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 16, 17 maybe. I don't know.
You are
Google
showing
that.
your
When
age.
When did PlayStation get released? I want to say like mid-90s.
So I was like, this is going to make you feel real old, sorry. But
Right.
I think I was maybe 4 when the Nintendo 64 came out.
Yes,
And that was the dopest. It's probably still one of the best consoles of all time. I have to.
Well, see, Shawnee was all about the Nintendos. I was Mega Drives, but then I transitioned to the PlayStation
Yeah.
from the Mega Drive pretty easy.
And the good old Game Boy.
Yeah, I never got into the Game Boys. It was fucking too small.
Yeah, no, Game Boys are the best, man. How else did you play Pokemon? Come on.
I didn't play Pokemon.
Yeah, see,
No.
different generations, man.
Not us.
Came out in 3rd December 94.
94. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I was 13,
It
so I
was
was a bit
released
younger.
in Japan in December 94.
Okay, so Australia was probably a year or so later.
Well, America was September 95.
Right,
So
so
Australia's probably later than that again.
96.
Yeah. 97.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. 15, 16. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So that was my, you know, teenage years,
Yep.
which was very different to standing in warm cow poo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but then like my young fellas come up with it, and yeah, like Fortnite, and I mean, I was a bit against Fortnite in the beginning because I was like, it's like shit, like that's a lot, you know, for a young mind.
And it's very open.
But yeah, I created an account with it and started going online and playing with him, and I got his mum to set up so that there was only X amount of type of group that he could communicate with.
Yep.
And because that was my biggest thing, I was like, if anybody can message him and start that, I don't want that.
Yeah, agreed.
But if he can play within a group,
Yep.
and everybody's kind of to a degree watching their P's and Q's, fine, have at it, you know, because it's very cartoonish. It's like, I remember watching Rambo and that at that age and being like all blood and gore and stuff, and that didn't fuck me up. So it's like, it's clearly a cartoon.
Yeah.
Fuck it, you know.
And it's a cool byproduct. Like, you know, when we were kids, I don't know about you, but like I'd finish off school, straight home, probably not ditch the school uniform as mum told me to, and I'd be straight back out the door on my push bike, going with my mates, making jumps, riding up and down the street, just being a little hooligan.
Yeah.
Now, kids are straight home. Hey, mum, any chores? And this is my kids. My kids are pretty good. You know? Any chores? No, I'm clear. Good. I'm on Fortnite.
Okay.
And I always say to my boys, like, come on, no, we're going to go for a walk first. You know, we're going to do something healthy first. You know, I'm recently bringing that into my life because, you know, I'm getting a bit older, larger.
Right there with you.
But you see all these kids, you know, after school, and they're all on there. There's 28 kids in one, like, creator lobby.
Yeah.
And they're all in the same classroom.
Yeah.
You know, or you've got varying ages, but they all know each other from school.
Yeah.
And I've set up my son's account's the same, so they can only be who their friends are. And then they need me to accept their friends. So it's great. You know, I know who they're playing with, and every now and then you hear one of the other kids maybe cussing and, you know, calling out the other kid.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested where that goes the next day at school. Like, does it roll into real world or does it end in the game? But I think for the social side of it, it's good for kids because we never had that. You know, you had probably the 4 or 5 kids that lived locally around you, and that's probably it. You know, you'd see them after school, or depending on how far you're willing to ride. But yeah, now kids have got this opportunity; they can socialise with 30 of their mates after school all at once. So I think there's a positive there.
Yeah, I think it's that, like you said, though, it's like, where does it go the next day? Because I think they're a lot cockier online than what they would have been at a BMX. Now I'm showing my age, at a BMX track.
Yeah.
Like we
Down
used
the
to
skate park.
Yeah. We never really had a skate park through Stafford Heights. We used to go up to, what was that? Where was that Eat Me jump that I ate shit on? That was over the back near Fletcher's house.
Yeah.
We never really had a skate park. There was a couple of ramps around.
Yeah.
But we would go tear us around on the mountain bikes and pushies and all that sort of stuff. But it was all, because we all went to school, everybody lived pretty close. And most of us, I mean, if you got a lift to school or road, you weren't too far because it was catchment type stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we were Everton Park, was Stafford Heights Primary School and then Everton Park High. And then I did a 12 months over at Craig's Leap, but still, again, everything was pretty close. But yeah, that would be my only thing with it is, they get a bit cocky online because there's nobody in front of them to sort them out if they, step out of line. Whereas we never had any dramas, at that age because, I mean, you either didn't want to get punched or that somebody wouldn't say anything anyway because they're in front of you. Like, it was just a whole new culture now.
Whole different behavior.
That's the only thing that worries me with that online shit is stuff that has an ability to build momentum.
Yeah.
So that when, if you have an argument with somebody in person, the next day, the worst it can do is continue at that level.
Yes.
Because nothing's changed overnight. You know, I'm talking about our era.
Yeah.
But this stuff has the ability to escalate so much so that when they get in front of the person, it's at level 10 from the beginning, which that worries me.
And I think as well with how, for my sons, a huge part of being a father is giving them the tools on how to control those emotions, and knowing that I was a pretty angry young man. Like, I didn't use my words as a responsible young adult as I probably should have. Yeah. It took me a little bit longer to learn that skill. Yeah. But I've really, really tried to work my sons on, your control of your emotions, and de-escalating a problem. Being able to have the skills to walk up to your mate and go, "Hey, man, you're a dick. I love you, but you're a dick, and I didn't like the way you spoke to me," or whatever may have happened. But I do see a lot of kids aren't being given those tools, and it's something that I've heard, stories, and other mates have come to me and gone, "Oh, my son had this happen at school today," and it's an all-out punch on because some kid broke some kid's wall down in a creator map, and you're like, but it's a game, right? Yeah. And you're punching on the oval over a fucking game. Like,
whatever happened to fighting over chicks?
Yeah, exactly right. Like, well, are you allowed to do that anymore? Like,
I don't even know.
I don't think you're allowed to. That'd be like, that'd defend someone. 100%.
Who gives a shit? That's like that. I love Trumpy's right-hand man in that interview. Look, the topic wasn't great, but the guy was talking about how all these, a big percentage of these women that were having a problem with the abortion rule aren't likely to be the ones that'll get knocked up anyway, effectively, right? And
yeah, right.
Like, Jesus, where's this
That's
going?
That's a bit harsh.
But outside in the interview area, this reporter's come up and gone, "Oh, you passed this comment about these women and stuff," and he goes, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, what do you say to the people that that you've offended?" And he's like, "Be offended."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Bring it home, buddy."
Yeah, exactly right.
It's like, okay, that was not a great topic to maybe
not a great example, but
lock in on, but the whole be offended.
Yeah. But that's part of great Australian culture, isn't it? Right. Like,
over here, it is. It's like we come from criminals.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
right.
if you can't take the piss out of yourselves, it's like there has got to be a percentage of Triton owners that when they buy the Triton, go, "This will be fun." Yeah,
I'm about to cop it from every one of my mates.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
It's like it's Australian culture to take the piss out of your mates. Yeah, and it's like, what is it? We're one of the only countries, because America says all the time, we're only one of the only places, like Australia is one of the only places that you'll call a cunt a mate, and your mate a cunt, and it's like, it's perfect.
I watched a video last night, and I don't know if you know who he is, but Ronnie Radke, right? Famous performer, sings for Falling in Reverse. Yeah, interesting life. Anyway, he's performing last night I think it was last night in Brisbane, and he's on stage and he's like, I've heard a rumor that you guys say the word cunt, and the crowd's just gone ballistic, and he's like, you're a bunch of cunts.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't even say that, and they won't even let me in the United Kingdom to say that.
Right.
He's like, I can come here and call you all cunts, and he's loving me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's that's our culture as a whole. Like,
Yeah.
we're happy to turn around and go, oh, you cunt, how are you?
Well, because I think for the most part, Australians take the intended what word would I want to use? It's in context, but the intention behind whatever is said is what's heard.
Yeah.
Because you can quite easily go, oi mate, and they know that's not good.
Yeah, you're in shit.
But you can go, you can say anything in Australia to an Australian.
Yep.
That's not a whinging wanker, and what they hear is the intended interaction, not the words.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like that. If you can't handle that, then that's where I would go harden the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Teaspoon of concrete.
Yeah,
you know. But Ricky Gervais has a really good bit on. I'll fuck it up, so I won't even try and get it actually right. But it's something like, people getting offended when they're not directly involved in something.
Yeah.
It's like when somebody posts one of the A4 things, with guitar lessons, and it's got all the little tabs at the bottom, and you rip one off, and it's a phone number.
Yeah.
And somebody sees that and rips one off and gets on the phone and rings up and goes, "I don't fucking want guitar lessons." And it's like, what? Okay.
Why'd you
Why
call?
get involved?
Yeah, exactly right.
Move on. Walk
Yeah.
past it. Why do you have to engage in that?
But now we live in a world now where I always say opinions are like arseholes, right? We all got one, but we should probably keep it to ourselves.
I haven't heard it with that extra bit, right? That's good.
These days we live in a world where everyone's showing their arsehole every day of the week, and they think people want to see it.
Especially on Twitter.
Oh, well, that's exactly right, man. Like, and that's probably half the problem we've got in the world right now. Instead of people kind of going, I might maybe keep that one to myself. Certain things probably you shouldn't say. Certain things you should be able to walk past and go, I don't agree with you, but anyway, moving on with my life. I'm not going to waste my energy on it.
Yeah. At least, and it's like the way to get past something on a news feed that you don't like is flicking your thumb.
Yeah,
and
it's
seeing
that
the next
simple.
thing.
Exactly right.
And people are still getting all butthurt over someone else's opinion, and they don't know them.
Yep.
We reference this a lot lately, but that Pauline Hanson episode, there's a few of the shorts that went up that just people were having a backwards and forwards like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Shocked me.
Yeah.
And they get riled up over this person that they don't know's response to something they've said, and it goes backwards and forwards, and I'm like, this is great. It's like a free comedy for me. I'm like, you pair of dickheads.
I love when these people, they get in the comments and they start, spurting facts to each other.
Yeah.
And it's, but did you know under this research study or this, and then this person comes back, but this. And you actually Google any of this shit, and they're both wrong. They're both miles away.
Right.
And you're like, wow, you guys are the biggest dicks. I can't believe you're wasting this part of your life to do this right now.
Yeah.
I wonder what the rest of your family's doing while you're arguing some wanker on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I love it. I love it when you watch them, and because I don't research a great deal. I love conversations and I love learning stuff.
I just love shit stirring, man.
That too. But it's like, I love watching them, and you just see it escalate. And these people don't know each other, but you can see when someone's gotten to a point where they're just letting loose now because they go rogue.
Yeah.
They go off topic. And it's like, well, they've been talking about the statistics of X, Y, Z.
Yep.
And now they're talking about, it looks like your mother and your father were related. It's like, you're like, sorry, fuck, shit host.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
mate. Here, give us your soldier.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
They go rogue, and all of a sudden it goes down this name calling path, and it's like,
It's back to childhood days, man.
Yeah, but some Aussies are just the fucking best at paying someone out.
Oh man,
You read
some of the
shit
some of the
and you're
names.
like, oh, this is gold. if you were a stand-up comic, you could go into like Facebook feeds,
Yeah.
and get an hour set out of just people talking to each other,
Yeah.
that disagree.
Yeah, exactly
You know,
right.
it's like just skip forward in that little group of interaction to about the fifth or sixth one, and start writing shit down.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Make a living out of it.
you totally could.
100%.
It's like the stupidity in it, and how like passionate some of them are about getting some person that they don't know,
And probably
to
never gonna
agree-
meet.
and they're probably never going to meet, to agree and understand with the point that they're making.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, fuck, mate, you put way too much effort into this.
Oh, exactly right, man.
Like, whatever, you know, whatever fucking floats your boat, I guess. It's good value to watch sometimes.
Oh, it's good to watch.
Oh, dear.
Better than National Geographic, that's for sure.
Kid, bloody David Attenborough on narrating that shit. AI will be able to do that stuff soon. You could probably do it now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying that later.
Oh, yeah? AI.
No, I'm trying to see. I'm going to see if AI can narrate a Facebook argument. I'm going to find
Right.
one. I'm going to start one.
Right.
I'll come back to you on this.
I've had a bit of a play with some of the basic stuff like that, grok and all that, to create. Well, you can't see it, but for anyone that's not watching this behind me, I've got the Wildside logo.
Yep.
But I put in there into grok, create an image of, and I put in like the Wildcast as a shop logo, and include wood and, you know, lettering and whatever else it is I wrote.
Yep.
And it just like has a bit of a think for a second and like spits out 4 different images.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, well, that's cool. I like that one. I go, and then so you write like, okay, take image 2 and, you know, change this and add that and whatever, and it spits out another 4, but it's kind of like image 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think the biggest thing for an industry at the moment that would be feeling stressed would be like graphic design and
Yeah,
stuff.
dude. You've just been replaced by something you can talk to in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's
other
a
day,
little
I had
scary.
I had a member reach out to me. He's going through a pretty rough time, right? Needed a character reference.
Yeah.
And look, I can talk, I can type, I'm pretty well with my words. I had no time. And one of my best mates goes, dude, get ChatGPT to do it for you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's wrong. And he's like, dude, bet you it writes a better one than you were going to write. If it does, use it. All right?
Right.
I'll test this. ChatGPT, I need you to write a character reference for this person for me, please. And, you know, I've known him for a few years, you know, good mate. I'd call him a pretty good mate.
Yeah.
Wrote this reference. It came out like, holy shit, dude. Like, this guy is a starkling, like, he's like a pillar of the community. Like, what would we ever do without this guy?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, ChatGPT. You are a winner.
Right.
I love you.
Wow.
It's ridiculously capable for that kind of use.
I've heard of the context where it's, you know, being used in schools and kids
Yeah.
are handing stuff in, but I mean, I don't really get that, because wouldn't you just get the AI to do it and then just go, right, well, I'm going to add a spelling mistake here, and I'm going to, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, mess up the grammar a little bit. And,
yeah,
you know.
if you're in year 10, just get it to do one for a year 8er, and they'll be like, oh, well, clearly this isn't, you know.
But you got a C and you'll pass and you'll be sweet.
Who cares? Yeah. Fuck, I never handed in anything anyway, and I didn't have AI.
Oh, I didn't even finish school.
Me neither. I think I did 2 weeks of year 11.
Yeah, I think I did about half a year 11.
Yeah.
And at the time for me, I was already out of home. Like, I was out of home from like
Yeah.
14, man.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, so school was a bit of a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Like, putting myself through school. So at the time, like, I gave up. I was working full time. I was like, I can go here and, you know, not get along with anyone and not enjoy it and just be in trouble all day because I'm different. Or I can go here where I'm going to be in a kitchen full of pirates who are all just their own freakish group of people.
Yeah.
Where I fit in.
Yeah.
And I can work balls to the wall, and I end the day, and yeah, they'll give me a beer and a meal and actually get paid for this. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm going in the kitchen. Like,
Yeah, I did a brief stint working at Big W. And back then, just being on the floor, it was black long pants,
yeah.
long sleeve white button up shirt, and a tie.
Oh, wow. I've never had a tie job. I
Oh,
swear,
yeah.
if Barney brings in ties, like, we're having words.
Oh, yeah, yeah, fair enough. No, I've had, like, when I was in real estate, I was like 3-piece suit. Like, I love a good suit.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I have to agree with you, but it's got to be by choice.
Yeah, but big W. And then when we hit year 11, because I left Everton Park halfway through year 10 because my old man and the principal saw, different opinions on things. So it was technically it was my old man that got kicked out of Everton Park. I never actually got kicked out.
You're just a witness of situation.
Oh yeah, I witnessed some shit. But went over to Craigsley, and Craigsley was like so relaxed. Like Everton Park, you couldn't wear a cap that wasn't an Everton Park cap.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It's funny you say that. I got expelled from Craigsley.
Did you really?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, when I went there, we were wearing like basketball shorts, whatever cap we wanted, as long as we had the green Craigsley like polo on.
Yeah.
You were fine.
Yeah, right.
And so I was like, this is awesome. But then we hit year 11, and you had to wear a button-up white shirt. And because I'd left working at Macca's because we both had Macca's jobs pretty early. I'd left working at Macca's and went over to Big W, and I was like, in year 11, you had to start wearing the white button-up shirts. And I'm like, if I've got to wear this, I'm going to go wear it and get paid.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I'm like, I'm not following anything here. And by then I'd worked out that, I was white and I wasn't going to take, athletics where I kind of wanted to go, and which is perfectly fine. It was pretty quick for a white boy. But I knew that sport wasn't going to be something that I built a life on.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go and earn money. Like if I've got to wear this today at school, or I can wear it down at Big W and get paid, like it's a pretty simple choice.
That's pretty fair.
So but I did like 2 weeks, but it wasn't for me. I wasn't handing in anything. I did sport, the prac side of sport. Loved drama.
Yeah.
Loved drama. But yeah, it wasn't. Mr. Petracci was. Do you have a Petracci for anything? He was history and a bit of sport. But like we had a mate at school. He's gone now. But like Mr. Petracci, like arm wrestles and shit in class.
Yeah, right.
He was the coolest teacher.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was like sport and drama, and that was it. Like I just had no interest in. Maybe a bit of shop, maybe a bit of woodwork, metalwork stuff. But
Yeah, shop was always fun. But those boys just fucking around, pretending to make shit. Right?
Yeah, that was it, though. I didn't want to do anything else. And I wasn't going to study to go on and study something else. And it was like, I'd rather just earn money so I can buy a car. And, I had no interest in really pursuing anything. And, I've said this on here a few times and in lots of conversations. If I was coming up through school now, like I would have lots of labels.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be ADHD and, whatever else that they wanted to throw at me. But it wasn't really a thing,
I think that
30 years ago.
Yeah, like my little brother, he was my next little brother. He was about that age where it started becoming very prominent. Every kid was getting checked for all these things.
Yeah.
But I was much the same, man. Like I couldn't sit still to save my life.
Yeah.
When it came to school, all I wanted to do was do art. Like I was really good at art and music.
Yeah.
The rest of the shit I did not care about.
Can you read music?
Yeah.
See, I can hear something and create a tune on a piano.
Yep.
Never got my head around guitar, but I can't read it for shit.
Yeah, right. See, I come from a very musical family, right?
Right.
Very, very musical
That always
family.
helped.
Yeah. But they're all country musicians.
Yeah.
I was like a metalhead through and through. Like I was AC/DC every day of the week. Like I'm replacing Angus Young,
Right.
So I started on piano, went to saxophone, and then went to guitar.
Yeah, saxophone's cool.
Man, I just wanted to be able to play a Simpson theme song, dude. That's all I actually wanted.
Saxophone.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Right.
And I realized I got out of class. So if I played in the band, I didn't have to go to class.
Yeah.
And then I just rolled in. I'm like, this is actually fucking really hard. And I ended up kind of meandering my way through it.
Yeah.
But it was not what I signed up for. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
But I loved music nonetheless. So it was important for me to be a part of that. And if I didn't, I think my family might have disowned me.
Yeah.
If I didn't play some real instrument.
Yep.
Because guitar was just like, no, you play ballads. You don't shred, For me, I'm like,
Right.
I want to play Slayer, I want to play like some Megadeth. Like,
Yeah.
I want to follow Slash and follow his, chord progressions. I want to be able to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be able to play November Rain for their wife, like.
Yeah. Music's always done something for me, and I listen to a wide variety of artists. The last few years, I want to say the last probably 3-4 years, my missus introduced me to like a lot more country, but like Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, all that sort of stuff, which is so outside of what I had pictured in my head that country even was.
Yeah.
But then I grew up with, like, oh God, like Chicago and John Denver and, you know, all the stuff my parents listened to. And, it was probably on the back end of Elvis and that they were still listening to. But, then there was the other side of it where you were, talking to girls and you got like Boys to Men going and like all for One and As Yet and all this stuff. And, look, I listened to so much different sort of variety, but I was like that with the groups that I hung around with too. Like I had mates where I'd rock up and I'd be wearing all Billabong and Rip Curl gear, and I had other mates I'd rock up. We'd go skating or whatever, and I'd have all cross colors.
You skated as well?
I was kind of like a little bit. I got a little bit into blades because that was the only way I could drop in on the big ramp. So the big ramp scared the shit out of me on a skateboard. But a little bit of blades, but like ramp skating and stuff like that. You rock up in bloody cross colors and Sean John shit, and then at the same time, I would hang around some of the older guys and be in sort of dressed up, whatever, and then we'd go to car meets, and it was like I was everywhere with everyone, doing everything, listening to everything. Yeah. So I never really had a genre that I stuck to, but I still listen to music. Like now I'll have it on in the shed, and I'll depending on the mood I'm in, it's all
about the mood, man.
Yeah, but you're here on your own. I'll just roll the door down when I want to just do something and not be disturbed, and I'll crank up the old sound bar and sub and shit, and
like how good is some Limp Bizkit like break stuff on like a Tuesday afternoon when nothing's working? Like it's one of those songs, like for me, something like that when just nothing's working. Yeah, it gives you that fire. Like I'm gonna fucking make this work. I'm gonna figure this out.
I think my dealing with stuff like that changed when I quit smoking.
Yeah, okay.
Because
so like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would especially with sheet metal when something wouldn't, you spend a bit of time on it, you've templated it, you do, English wheel or whatever, and it's it's pulled or twisted or done something you didn't want it to do, or you can't get to a bolt or whatever. Because it's my shop, I would smoke in my shop. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, 100%.
There's fucking 5 roller doors and fans everywhere. It's like, it never really smelled like cigarettes.
Your house.
Yeah. But it's like, if something wasn't working, I would stop with the music going, and I would sit there and have a smoke, and kind of it would just marinate around in my head.
Yeah.
And you'd work it out.
Yep.
Now, because I don't smoke anymore, now I'll go, all right, I need to walk away from this for a minute. So I'll walk away and I'll go and do something else, because there's always 5-10 things going on here.
Yeah,
anyway.
100%.
But now when I come back to it, I haven't really thought about it much because I've been doing this.
You just move straight to the next task.
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start working this out again. But I have calmed down, so typically the answer will reveal itself better than if I'd stayed there and pursued through it. But it's definitely not that 5 minutes of, because whether it's 1 or 2 or whatever smokes, like I'll sit down and have a smoke break and marinate on that problem. And I don't do that anymore. So it's like my process over the last, I think it was November 23 was my last smoke.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, I was at pack and a half a day every day.
Okay.
Pack of 25s, whatever. But my process for that's now changed a lot, and it's like the music and all that is now kind of, I try not to hype myself up because I don't have that 5 minutes of come down.
Yeah, okay.
Which sounds weird, but it's like that, just that 5 minutes where you're sitting there just marinating on that problem.
Yep.
I don't get that anymore. So it's like,
see, for me, music's it's like such an amplification of the emotions you're feeling.
Yeah, but when I'm feeling that and I put Limp Bizkit on, I'm probably going to end up punching something.
Oh, man, nah.
This isn't working.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like I said, I'm 32. You know, like I'll still jump in the pit.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite bands, D's Nuts. Shout out,
Right.
my boys. Touring soon. You know, and it's old school hardcore. It's two step. You know, like it's guys in a pit. Like, but it's how it used to be. Like hardcore days.
Yeah.
I still jump in the pit with the boys. Like I don't care how fat and unhealthy I am. I'm in there. My wife's had to carry me out of so many of their concerts. It's ridiculous. And I'm sober. You know,
Yeah.
I may have had a couple of beers, but I'm walking out and my wife's like, are you fucking okay? Do you need an ambulance? Like,
Yeah.
but it's music. You love it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where for me, like when I'm having a day like that, put the tunes on and pump it. You know, you got to pump it loud.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely something that I feel it's important in the shed for the boys
Yeah, no, look,
and the girls.
Yeah, I love it. I love having something in the background to sort of get you through, especially some of the more mundane stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but
Drive
yeah.
you through it.
Yeah, I have noticed my tolerance has gone a little bit because there's the other thing too. Like when you smoke, it's like I'll just get this done and I'll have a smoke.
Yeah, it's like that little reward at the end of the challenge.
Yeah, you know. Whereas now it's like it's endless. It goes until I stop.
See, because I'm a smoker.
Yeah,
And I've been an on and off smoker probably most of my life.
Yeah.
And I've gone periods where I've gone, done with them. You know,
Yeah.
and I went through the vape thing and I was like, this is way too social. You
Yeah.
know, like people are just like at work vaping under their desks and shit. I'm like, this is not really appropriate. Like we're in a business here.
yeah,
You know, but like I really enjoy that period. Back when I was a chef, you know, like you'd see 9 o'clock, kitchen closed, and there's like 25 chefs all out just lined up on the wall chewing through cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's an important thing to have that time away from the grind.
yeah,
And, you know, even at Legendex, we do it twice a day, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon. Mornings, all right, guys, you know, we have 5-minute power. Where are we at? What are we doing? What do we need? What's our challenge? You know, most importantly, how can I support you through that challenge?
Yeah.
You know, is it a part? Is it something that's just fucked? It's not working.
Yeah.
You know, and every now and then you get these parts that are like, yeah, it's supposed to just click your fingers and go straight on. It's 2 bolts. It ain't that way. You know,
Yes.
all of a sudden, hang on, wait, I'm pulling out half the side of this engine, you know?
yeah,
And that's just part of what we do, you know?
yeah.
But sometimes you just need a friend, a fellow workmate to go, it's going to be okay. We'll do this together. We've got this.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a very important thing. So.
Barney's a good leader too. You know, I've given him shout outs on here so many times for stuff that's got nothing to do with Legendex, just him as a person. You know?
Man, I don't even know where to start with Barney, to be honest. Like, obviously, I've been in the industry for a while, right? And you know, I'm cut from a different cloth to most people, you know. Before working at Legendex, I never quite, you know, you just feel like you don't fit in sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, in some of the places I've worked. And I've been, you know, for myself, I feel like I've been pretty successful in some of the roles I've had. But until I joined Legendex, I don't think I've ever found a business where I felt so at home
Yeah,
and so welcomed. You know, working with Barney is, you know, everyone goes, but Berserker Barney, you know,
Yeah.
like it must be awesome. He must just drink beers and go wheeling every day. Don't get me wrong, we do our fair share, you know, wheeling and having a beer and stuff. But, mate, he has to be one of the best mentors I've ever worked alongside. And this is, you know, I've worked with some amazing people over my time, but the patience that he has for his team, for his customers, you know, first and foremost, he's a family man.
Yeah.
And that resonates through his business. You know, recently I had my young fellow, he chopped his finger off, right?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You know, like
So not the whole finger, right? I'll clarify. Sorry.
Right.
So from just below like the first knuckle,
yeah,
but a quite substantial thing, right?
yeah, but off.
Off. So he's like going to run through a door, and it was real windy. I live pretty close to the beach.
Yeah.
And the wind slammed the door behind him and literally just took it off. And my wife's gone running in because like I got a pretty big dog.
Yeah.
And my dog's going to eat it. So my wife's gone in like crash tackled the dog, like get the finger. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like pick up this finger. There's my son. Like holy shit. Like battle stations, you know.
Yeah.
Get the kid to the hospital. Yeah, it's all good. They're going to put the finger back on. Like, fuck, I should probably let the boss know. I'm probably not going to be at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Call Barney. And you never want to make that phone call on a Sunday, you know?
No.
Call him up. Hey, man, sorry to bother you on your Sunday. Yeah, look, my young fella's coming. His finger's off. And he's like, fuck, dude, is he okay? I'm like, yeah, finger's going back on, but not sure I'll be at work tomorrow. And he's like, dude, he just lost his finger. The fuck are you calling me for?
Yeah.
send me a photo, because that's like, he chopped his finger off, gone, man, send me a photo.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then,
boys will be boys. Like, I want to see that shit.
Yeah. And then it was, let me know when you'll be back.
Yeah.
You know, how many bosses these days are first and foremost family?
Yeah.
You know, for me, I've found very few personally. And to find someone that was like, dude, just let me know when you'll be back, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. We'll catch up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that was an eye opener for me. You know, and coming back, and then it was like, hey, boss, by the way, I've got to, you know, a couple of weeks, got to take the kid. He's got to check his finger out with the surgeon. Yeah, cool, man. All good. You know, what time are you going to be here?
Which is what it should be too. It's like, okay, first of all, is he going to be okay? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's going to be okay? Sweet. Australians, immediate into
Send me
what
a photo.
the fuck happened? Send me a photo.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like, yeah, he is a unique breed.
He is, man. And it's something that I'm really enjoying. I think learning about myself as well.
Yep.
Having a man that, you know, even though I do all this men's work and I'm constantly, you know, I'm trying to support and facilitate and help people grow. For me, someone that's really challenging me and my inner belief system. You know,
Yep.
certain things where, you know, even in that example, he's first and foremost family. I'm like, holy fuck, Barty's going to be pissed, man. Like Monday morning, I'm not going to be at work.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, don't be a dick, man. Family first.
Yeah.
You know, that was so refreshing for me, and such a good reminder about why I gave up what I was doing. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like if you'd said, look, I was, you know, grooming golden retrievers, I would have been like, you know, dude, how much fucking better would it be than earning good money playing with golden retrievers every day? But being a fucking chef in a kitchen, like, that's like next level stress on a good day.
Well, I had 15 of them too.
Yeah, see, fuck that.
Like, so my day today, so obviously I worked ultimately like Tuesday to Saturday kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I never really had a weekend off, really. My day would consist of, man, I could drive anywhere from like Noosa North Shore to like Capalaba and maybe stop in like 5 restaurants in one day. I could do 2 services at either end of Brisbane.
Yeah.
And then the next morning would be like, oh, by the way, I've just had 2 chefs walk out of this kitchen. We need you to go and do service by yourself. How do you feel? And you'd go, fucking not like doing that. I'm going to call a chef from this one and then one from this one. I'm going to pick them both up on the way to work.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a fucking awesome service.
Yeah.
But then those 2 kitchens are going to suffer because they've just lost their sous chefs.
Yeah.
So it's just such a juggling act. And I'm proud I did it. And I opened some amazing restaurants in the time I was there. I had the opportunity to work, like, you know, the Sporting Globe at Chermside.
No.
So it's like a sporting bar kind of
Yeah,
thing. It's American style.
Chermside, I haven't been. I try to stay away from Chermside since I went over there and got lost one day.
I don't blame you there. Working in some of those like bigger kind of corporate structured hospitality industry businesses, like they're great, but again, so eye-opening. You know, and you're opening 3 or 4 restaurants a year.
Yeah.
You know, you go from one, you finish one, and you get it home and hosed. Cool, these guys kind of know what they're doing. I think I can step away now. And then you go into your next one. You know?
Yeah, so that's that real corporate look to it, though. Did you ever think about doing something for yourself, like as a one-off, like real...
Have you ever thought about putting your balls in a door and slamming it?
God,
It's kind of the same.
I'm trying to give it up. You know?
Yeah. For me, like, I thought about it, but that's the exact analogy I'd put to it.
Really?
Yeah, man, like, I'd love to do it just so I could say I did it. Like getting your ball stuck in a door.
Right.
Not going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
not going to do it again, that's for sure.
No, obviously, you know, post leaving the industry, like not going back, but like, because I mean, like I remember Dad in his go-karting days. I'm pretty sure it was Mark Greaves who was. Oh, fuck, was it Mark? It might not have been Mark. One of them was a chef.
Yeah.
In his little group, and there was one of the boys had a restaurant. Pardon me. I want to say it was down at Everton Park or somewhere around there, but it was like not a hole in the wall, but not like a massive restaurant.
Yeah.
I would guess probably, I don't know, bar at the front and 50 head kind of size.
Yeah.
But Dad went in there. The first time Dad ever went in there, he was kind of in the process of opening up for the day.
Yeah.
Must have been around lunchtime somewhere. Dad stops in and walks to the bar. There's nobody at the bar.
Yep.
And Dad being Dad, you know, he's like, you know, what are you going to do to get a fucking drink around here?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and whoever, God, I want to say Mark, but I don't think it was Mark. But, you know, Dad's done. He's like, what are you going to do to get a drink around here? And this head pops around the corner and goes, the fucking fridge is there. Go on. Yeah. And they were just like instant mates.
Yeah.
You know, like I've looked at stuff like that because I've spoken about doing like the Wildside Bar and Grill and, you know, or dropping the grill and doing like, you know, the Wildside Whiskey Bar or something like that. Just a cool little, not to sell anything.
Yeah. But just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. Yep. You know, pool table, couches, music, you know, cigars, like all that sort of shit. You know, all the ventilation in the roof so it doesn't piss anybody off. And if it does, we'll go away.
Yeah.
Come back when we're not doing one of those.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But have that sort of thing for that type of hangout, sort of like a destination shop, not just retail.
Yeah.
But it's on the back of stories like that where I'm like, that sounds like, you know, now all these years later, because I think back then when Dad got into karting, we would have been like 10 or 11, 12, something like that. We were pretty young. Maybe a little older than that. Maybe a little bit older than that. Oh, him and Mum split when we were 13. And he didn't get into karting till he got his own place. But, so 13, 14, whatever. But it was a cool story hearing it back then. But now as a, you know, 43-year-old, I'm like, that sounds like my kind of mate. If I walked in somewhere and that was the response I got from that, because I would do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, nobody's here. I'd be like, you know, are these beers free or what? You know, I would say something.
If I'm serving them myself, I'm drinking for free.
Yeah, you know, if you got that kind of response, I'd be like, yeah, we're going to be mates. You know, so it's like, that was kind of that almost reaffirms this whole thing for me of having that kind of, which is why I've always had beer fridges and whatever else in the shop. And I get customers who come down like that bottle of vodka I finally opened a couple of episodes ago. That was a gift from a customer. We get guys who'll rock up down here that we've done work for, and they'll just show up here with a 6-pack and just go, I was just going to stop in and see if you were keen for a beer. I'm like, fuck yeah, come, you know.
Come Heather, let's go.
It's like I love that energy and that environment and that camaraderie. And I think for somebody but then I haven't been in the industry like you were, so it's like I still have probably this glorified version of it.
Yeah. So like the industry as a whole, like for most chefs, you're working probably minimum 50 hours a week.
Yeah, wow.
Minimum. For me, I was clocking, you know, I was starting about 8 in the morning, finishing about 11 at night every day of the week, 5 days a week.
Okay.
And a lot of responsibility. Don't get me wrong, you drink and eat for free in any restaurant you want, because if it's your venue, you're drinking for free. You take your whole family of 30 in there and still eat for free because you're doing that much overtime. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like no one's going to question you.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where you start to fall out of love with it. Like, there's a movie called Chef, and it's literally called Chef, and it's about this guy, and he goes from like fine dining, you know, proper, really fine dining, has a proper meltdown, goes off the rails, and then he turns around and he's like, I'm giving up cooking. Fuck this, I'm never doing it again. And he's making grilled cheese sandwiches with his son, and he kind of has this epiphany, like, fuck yeah, sandwiches are awesome. Love sandwiches. And then he starts, I think he goes and has like cubanos in a little restaurant with his partner. Yeah. And he's like, I think we're gonna start like a little food truck. And she's like, but why? You know, like, you're one of the best chefs everywhere. Everyone knows you, you know. And he kind of has this like fall from fame because he has this meltdown in his restaurant. Yeah. Over a critic. And after this, he literally goes and just starts a Cubanos truck. Yeah. And just lives it, loves it, breathes it. And it's great. You know, one of my really good friends, Stillman. So Stillman used to make Stillman's hot sauce. Okay. And I've always looked up to him, had a world of respect for him, you know, professional friend. So when I was an executive, he had just recently stepped down of the role that I moved into. Okay. And literally the first thing he said to me was like, be careful, bro. Like, you're a good guy. You've got a good heart. This will fucking chew you up and kill you. Like, be careful. Look after yourself.
Wow. What an entry to the
role. To being, you know, what is considered like one of the highest roles you can be as a chef. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. It'd be sweet, bro. Don't worry, I got this shit. You know, I got this. And he's like, yeah, I know you do have this, but it'll have you if you let it. Yeah. You know, and he walked away from cooking for a huge huge period of time. And like one day I walked into a pet shop. I'm like, Stillman, what the fuck are you doing, dude? He's like, selling pet shit. I'm like, loving it.
Yeah.
And so he's now actually running a restaurant down in Sandgate called Frankie's.
Okay.
Frankie's on 4th. And dude, best fucking sandwiches. And you roll in and you can go see the Stillman and you go, dude, what do you got? What's good? And you go, man, I'm doing this. And it could be anything. He's just thought up some sick sandwich. And I promise you, you're going to walk away with shit in your beard and you're going to go, holy crap, I need another beer. And can I get one of those to take to work tomorrow, please?
Right.
Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
But for a guy that was, a huge name in the industry, very well known, very respected in the industry, to walk away and go, I'm never cooking again kind of thing.
Yeah.
And to now be cooking sandwiches, like,
Yeah.
that's kitchens as a whole. Once you get to the top, there's no further to go, nowhere else to go. And it kills you, man. Like, it eats you up. And then you go, well, I'm either going to give it up forever or I'm going to go back to what I do love. And, like, for most chefs, a sandwich is such a humble, simple thing.
Yeah.
And when you get a sick sandwich, it's like prosciutto and blue cheese, rock it with a balsamic glaze and maybe a little bit of fine peppercorn over the top. And, like, a really nice, like, duck, like, confit when it's toasted.
Yeah.
You just go, oh, yum.
I find whenever I go somewhere new, I'll order like a bruschetta.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how they deal with the bruschetta is like, that's going to give you a bit of an indication as to what else they're going to do.
Oh, man, I can't go to, like, restaurants anymore.
Yeah, but that would be like, yeah.
It's just ruined it for me forever.
Yeah.
Like, I go into restaurants and I'm like, why is that waiter leaning on the bar? He should be standing up straight. Like, and it takes away all the enjoyment of it. Like,
Yeah, it's, like my missus the other night, we went out to an Italian place, which was a bit of fun because it was like Indians in Australia cooking Italian, which was like, this will be interesting, we'll see what they do. But they're, what did she get? She got a risotto, but they did it the way Indians deal with rice.
Yeah,
so,
okay,
so there's
yeah.
an upside cup of rice in the middle.
Yeah.
And then this, garlic and prawn sauce around the outside of it. And so when she mixed it together, because they clearly hadn't cooked the rice in the liquid,
sauce, yeah.
it's just this wet mess for 10 minutes. It didn't really get a chance to absorb, or it would have been cold and whatever else. And I'm not overly educated with the stuff. Like, okay, I am now. I now know that that's not an acceptable way to, do a risotto for somebody who likes risottos or likes
Definitely
risottos that way. But I'm like, she's like, taste this, and she'd mixed it up. And I tasted it. I'm like, yeah, it's prawns, garlic, rice. What the fuck do you expect?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's where some, what is it? Ignorance is bliss.
Exactly right. Man.
But then you take me somewhere and they've messed with the bruschetta, or, one thing I fucking hate is it's like Coffee Club has the baseline unfucked with hollandaise sauce.
Oh, man. Don't even get me started on hollandaise sauce, bro.
Well, it's like, whatever that is my flavor, right? You go somewhere and it's like they've thrown fucking vinegar in and this and that and whatever else they do to it. I'm like, why fuck with it?
So do you know what hollandaise sauce is?
I have no idea.
So, quick lesson.
I know
right?
it's something to do with an egg,
Egg yolk.
right?
Traditionally, you would reduce white vinegar with a bay leaf and some peppercorns.
Okay.
And then with the egg yolk, you're going to whisk very quickly in a figure S like this over a water boil.
Yep.
You're going to put in your white vinegar, and then you're going to add slowly clarified butter and do the same thing.
Okay.
So you get really good at doing this one-handed while talking to all your boys about shit.
Right.
That's how you make hollandaise, right?
Okay.
And you season. Now, if you're going to go like the next level and make like a béarnaise, you're going to add like a finely chopped tarragon through that. Beautiful. Yum.
Okay.
Awesome. You normally put a bit of mustard through that as well.
Right.
When you get something like Knorr hollandaise, now, I don't want to ruin this for you because Eggs Benedict is my favorite meal.
Yes.
But
Unless they fuck with the hollandaise.
Eggs Benedict, as one of the best meals of all time, I love it, has been butchered by Coffee Club. So, poached eggs come in a bag at Coffee Club.
Well, they cook them in a bag, do they?
No, they come in a bag. So they get them in a plastic bag and drop the whole plastic bag in the boiling water, and that's how they cook their poached eggs.
So it's pre-cracked egg.
Well, they're pre-sous vide. So they're pre-sealed and then put into the little bag, so they're just going to heat it up.
Well, then why do they come out fucking all different variations of cooked?
Not all coffee clubs, but generally the HQ, like the corporately owned ones, that they've got sous vide eggs. So they're pre-cooked eggs.
Yeah, right.
And they buy them in frozen.
Well, yeah, my biggest thing that I don't like, which is why I stopped doing as much eggs benny or bacon eggs bennies, was because
Thank you, sir.
yeah, right, was because the eggs were so inconsistent. Like sometimes they'd be like perfect, medium cook, bit of runny yolk, good to go, and sometimes they were like it's just a fried round egg.
Can you
Yeah.
poach an egg?
No. Well, I've had the little silicon cups before.
No, that's not poaching an egg,
That's
bro.
about
Come
as
on.
far as I get.
All right. Do you want to impress the missus?
Well, if you can pull off a poached egg, she'd be very happy.
G'day legends. To help support the brands and support us, get onto our website and check out who we've chosen to partner with. For everything custom 4x4 and accessories, visit wildsidegarage.com. While you're there, don't forget to check the links for the discount section, where you can get 10% off brands like Carbon Off-Road, MAXTRAX, and In-House Fabrication. Remember to like and subscribe to help us grow the channel and bring you even more from Wildside.
So you need a pot like this size,
Yeah.
about that deep.
Yeah.
Boil it first.
Right.
Put in just a big old splash of vinegar.
Okay.
Right? Swirl it first. So
Yeah.
let it boil.
Yeah.
Drop your heat straight back. Swirl it.
Yeah.
Crack your egg straight in the middle.
Yeah. Into the whirlpool.
In the whirlpool.
Yeah.
Now, when you get good, you can do like 6 at a time. When
Right.
you get really good, you can do like 30 at a time because you get a bigger pot.
Right.
But that dropping through the pot is where it's going to seal.
Okay.
And if you don't have enough vinegar and the egg white's not contracting enough,
Yeah.
you'll see like this really gooey mess at the
Yeah,
top.
that's what
so,
mine look like.
So you need more vinegar.
Right. I didn't put any vinegar
Oh
in.
man, poached eggs, bro. You got to have vinegar.
Right.
But it's a beautiful thing when it's
I
done
lo-
right.
I love watching what's he Nat's what I reckon.
He's gold, man. He's the
Fucking
best.
lunatic. I love it. I had no idea I thought he was a chef when I first started seeing this. I had no idea there was all this other crap that
Yeah.
he did, and that was just something that he started through COVID.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought this guy's, but it was fucking brilliant. It was like the most engaging of, other than hearing Gordon Ramsay lose his shit.
Oh man.
It was like the most engaging way that you could be taught how to cook. I was like, this is great.
Even me as a chef, dude, like I watch his videos, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's an awesome recipe. I'm gonna cook that.
Yeah.
I love his what is it? It's like how the microwave fucks it. And he's like, oh, we're gonna cook this microwave meal, but this is how I'm gonna cook it.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
like kicks the microwave over, and next minute he's cooking like some really nice dish. And you're like, dude, that's fucking sick.
And it's all like fuck canned soup. And
Yeah.
whatever else he does, it makes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just did something with the boys from Mighty Car Mods.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
They were out bush somewhere because the Mighty Car Mods boys were dicking around with an Amarok.
Yeah, right.
And they've been building this thing and having fun, calling themselves the world's #1 four-wheel drive channel. And good on them. Like they've earned the right to do whatever the fuck they want. But they were out on the track, and then Nat's there. Is it Nathan or is it just Nat, or I don't know.
not
I don't even
sure.
know what his proper name is. But he's out there. And he's got all this like sashimi and this other bullshit that he's doing on the side of the fucking dirt track out, whatever bloody track they were on. But he's that's a lot of fun. I love the energy that he sort of brings to that. But then see even watching stuff like the old Jamie Oliver in his kitchen at home, or watching Gordon Ramsay lose his shit because someone's got cooked meat next to raw meat, and
Yeah, or it's been in there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's like covered in like mold.
Yeah.
I love my wife watches a lot of that, and that's funny. So she used to be a hairdresser. I gave up cooking. Now she's a chef. She's
Oh,
born
what
into
was
the
that
industry.
like?
Oh,
Were
no,
you
it's
still in
fucking-
it when she went into it?
No. Like I gave it up. I was well and truly clear.
Yeah.
And now she comes home smelling like a deep fryer. And I'm like, fuck.
How
was
was that
me.
conversation? Where she's like, I know
loved-
this nearly killed you, but I want to do it.
She started off cake decorating,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
she's
it, yeah.
fucking good at it, man.
Yeah, okay.
And when someone's good at something, you got to encourage it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's also probably a sneaky transition. You know, you're in the industry, you got a good group of people around you, you're enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not doing midnight service.
Well, she now literally she works with Stillman in the salmon shop. You're right.
Okay.
So she's working with someone who I know is going to teach her some solid skills, and she's never going to listen to me. If I go, "Hey, babe, this is a good way to do this," she's going to go, "Yeah, right, dickhead."
Yeah. It's unwritten law.
Yeah. Whereas if Stillman says it, she's going to go, "Yes, chef."
Yeah.
But yeah, so she watches a lot of that Ramsay stuff, and like I can't do it, man. Like, because I've been in kitchens with chefs like that have literally thrown frying pans at me and stuff.
Yep.
And I actually love like the old Marco Pierre days. So this is
Okay,
like old school chef
Old,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, and you watch some of his videos, man, and like there's a story about an apprentice bitching about how hot it was, right? And he's like, "Oh, you think it's hot? All right." And he walks over with a big filleting knife and cuts the back end of his chef's uniform and goes, "You cooler now, kid? Good service, let's go." And that was Gordon Ramsay when Gordon Ramsay was an apprentice.
Yeah, right.
So that's where Gordon Ramsay got his attitude from. Marco was ruthless in the kitchen, but Gordon's attitude's been very much kind of heightened by the TV.
Yeah.
But Marco's like the OG. He's like the Godfather, you know.
Well, I remember watching even like Huey. You know, Huey's cooking shows.
Dude, did you see he's on TikTok now?
No.
Huey is on TikTok, man,
Yeah, right.
and it's actually good.
Look, I remember some of the stuff he would cook because that was the only thing that threw me because I've got a pretty boring palate.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
You know, bruschetta is about as exciting as it gets for me. You know, but when I learnt what balsamic vinaigrette was, it was like, you know, a whole new world.
Yeah, right.
I'm, you know, meat, you know, kind of,
Smoked meat,
smoked meat, jerky,
barbecue sauce.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Nothing wrong with that, dude.
hot dogs, steaks, rissoles, like, you know,
Yeah.
pasta. Like Italian would be more me, but on a base level.
Yeah, just the meat, right?
Well, yeah, but like
And
you know,
maybe some
pastas,
pasta.
pasta sauces, like that's and I could eat that all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, when like when my missus and I got together, we were doing a dinner one night. This is really early, and I thought cabbage was purple, and I asked her why she was cooking the lettuce
Yep.
because it was just green cabbage.
Yep.
And I'm like, "What are you cooking the lettuce for?" And she's like, "Are you being funny or like?" I'm like, "I didn't even know you could cook lettuce." And she's like, "That's just wrong, man." I had,
Oh man, that's gold.
Dude.
I love that.
she still gives me shit for it now. You know, she's like, "No, Ben, we don't. If I ever ask you questions, no, Ben, we're not cooking lettuce." You know, I've never had any interest in all of the. Like the first time I ever even had like a sushi train was like 2016.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh, eat sushi, it's raw shit." Like,
Yeah.
no, that's sashimi, Ben. This is.
See,
like
my
chicken
introduction
and-
to food was like so different, right? So being out of home, you're so young, going into kitchens, you know, I'd eat basically whatever I was fed.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'd meet all my mates. I'd be like, "Oh, where are you working, dude?" And because you grew up pretty much around here.
Yeah,
So
Stafford Heights.
Yeah, so you know, remember the old Zigabalis at Strathpine? It's like right across from Pizza Hut. So that was where I did my first year of my apprenticeship, right?
I don't think of where that even is.
So you know, like the old
Pizza Hut
pizza,
Strathline.
like the
It's still there. It's just a J car now.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of a hole in the wall, but that was a restaurant.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eat-in restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So that's where I did my first year at. And I'd be there and I'm like, fuck yeah, comfy garlic. This is delicious. I'm making this pizza like this big and like this thick with cheese.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd go home to the boys and the boys are like, what the fuck are you eating, dude? And I'm like, it's comfy garlic pizza bread. And they're like, sick, give us a go. I'm like, dude, it's fucking garlic bread, you idiot.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So you'd bring home something like the next day, like, I'm going to fuck these guys up. You make like a pizza and it's just like meat, but like all like prosciuttos and salamis, you know, all these really nice meats.
Yeah.
And then it'd just be chili underneath. And then be like, oh, dude, like it's a bit out there. So I've never had something like that before. And like to me, that was normal, you know, but
Yeah.
none of my mates like understood that that's what I was being exposed to every day of the week.
Yeah.
Like I think I was probably like 17 when I first had escargot, you know, and that was like, it's snails. Like,
Yeah.
and going home to my mates going, fuck, dude, I had snails today. And they're like, is that like a problem downstairs or? But
I still haven't eaten that. There are a handful of things that I just am like, I don't care. It's not happening.
yeah,
Like snails, fish eggs,
fish eggs are nice, man. Caviar.
like the raw salmon. I've done raw. I've tried raw.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things that I've tried, but if I sit there and it's like, there's no part of me, because I'm such a carnivore in steak and heavy. Like I wanna finish dinner and go into a food coma, and I want a full heavy feed that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's why, like, of late I've been playing with the carnivore diet and all that sort of stuff, and it's hit and miss because we've been moving house and everything else is going on. But I'm gonna get further into that now that we're down here, and I've gone from an hour and whatever with no traffic to get to work to 9 minutes.
Yeah.
The
world is your oyster.
And I've got to literally drive past the gym to get here, and it's like everything's kind of lined up for me to actually take this a bit more seriously now. Spend some time on the diet, bit of food prep, getting back to the gym. Like I've gone to a gym maybe 10 times in 2 decades.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I find somewhere and I'm like, timing doesn't work, or it's a shit drive, or I can't do it before work, and I'm like, I know my morning. I want to get it done before I get to work.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what happens during the day. I've done gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if the day's gone to shit, the first thing I'm going to do is go, fuck it, I'm the gym. I don't want to go home. So like I've been waiting to get the right scenario around it, but the biggest thing for me is like the diet, because I love the full heavy feeling.
Yeah.
So this like finger foods and stuff like that, I'm like, it does nothing for me. There's nothing about it that excites me.
No, when it comes to my general diet, I'm exactly the same. Yeah. Like if the steak's not like this big, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like if it's not half a cow, I don't want it.
Yeah, you like, where is the section that's like I can order a whole butt cheek?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I would be
I walked into
keen.
a restaurant the other day. It was like a burger joint, and I was like looking at this menu, and I'm like, yeah, sick. And I love a burger, man. Like, if it's not as big as my head, and I got a big head, man.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. If you don't have to near on dislocate your jaw,
100%.
Are you really eating a burger, or is it just a big sandwich?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I ordered like what was it? It was a quad with like 8 pieces of bacon, pulled pork, lettuce, tomato, usual suspects.
Yeah.
And there was something else. It was like a fried jalapeno, like a battered fried jalapeno.
Nice.
And it was like a $40 burger, and this chick behind the counter is like a toothpick,
Right.
The burger probably weighed more than her.
Right.
And she's looked at me like, are you sure, sir? I'm like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And my son, who's also a big eater, he's turned around and gone, I'll have what Dad's having, but by half.
Right.
Like, good effort.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'll pay that. Good job.
How'd your boy?
So I've got 3 boys.
Yeah.
I got 10, 8, 3.
Right. So the 10-year-old's getting into it.
He's getting into it.
Yeah.
He finished it, but this waitress looked at us in absolute horror. Like, this is 2 pretty good-sized blokes sitting there eating these burgers, and my burger came out like this,
Yeah.
But that's what it should be about, man. Like, if you love a good meal, fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
But nowhere does it anymore. No one does it properly.
No, I think for the longest time, the best burger you could get as when we were coming up was a fish and chip shop.
Yeah, and get like the Works burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Works burger, no pineapple.
Yeah, fuck
load
that.
me up,
I was also no beetroot.
No, I love beetroot. What are you? You're not eggs.
No beetroot, no eggs.
No beetroot, no eggs. Yeah.
I love beetroot, but not on a burger.
It depends on how good the quality of the bun is, because the beetroot's the first thing that'll shoot out the back.
Support it, yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, beetroot's something that, like, I used to make like one of my signature dishes was a beetroot risotto
Okay.
with like a Parmesan crisp and zucchini curls, and there was like so you call it like a snow, but I used to make this snow and a feta. So like when the waitress came to the table, instead of like shaving the Parmesan, she'd have this little thing and she'd like shake it over all of the zucchini and all the little flowers, and it'd snow feta over the dish.
Right.
Oh man, like it was cool. It was delicious, but like holy fuck, all for a beetroot, like And that was my point. You're going to pay $35 for a beetroot, and it's not even a whole beetroot. You're paying for half a beetroot and like half a cup of risotto.
Yeah. Yeah, see all that shit. I'm like about as fancy as I get is I'll get like a, you know, if we're having dinner, if we're going out for dinner and we've got to do something afterwards, I'll pull it back because I obviously don't want to be getting dragged around somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know, if I'm getting real fancy, we'll do like the 200 gram, like a nice eye fillet, or you know. But then I'm still a 5-year-old. It's just chips and chips. I won't even go chips and salad. I'm like, just give me the chips and chips. And
I love when you go into a pub and they've got Brussels sprouts.
Oh, what a joke!
Brussels sprouts cooked in bacon. That's the best.
Cooked in bacon.
Yeah.
Like wrapped in bacon, like a
No. So imagine like hot frying pan, right?
Yeah.
You've already blanched your Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Then you get your hot frying pan.
Yeah.
You render down your bacon.
Yeah.
It's starting to go crispy.
Yeah.
Then you're going to pull out your Brussels sprouts straight into the really hot pan. Garlic, salt, pepper, maybe some fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, if you're really going to be fancying it up. And then you just toss your Brussels sprouts all through the bacon fat. And they go super crispy and absorb all the bacon fat.
Yeah.
Dude, trust me, try it. It's life-changing.
So, but see, I find that like people that'll eat oysters, but they'll only eat oysters Kilpatrick. I'm like, you don't like oysters, you like bacon and sauce.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, a Brussels sprout, it's like, what are them little...
No one likes Brussels sprouts.
Them little, they look like a crown and they're yellow.
Squash.
Oh,
It's
squash.
Squash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
No one likes them.
no.
I've never met anyone that's like, fuck yeah, I'm having squash for dinner.
That's what,
Like, who the
that's
fuck?
what I mean. It's like, you don't like the thing. You like the thing that you're cooking the thing in.
Yeah.
You know,
who
so
doesn't
it's
like
like, well,
bacon?
why just not have a plate of bacon instead and fuck the Brussels sprout off?
No, but because this is how I've sold my sons on how to eat Brussels sprouts. And now my wife can dish up Brussels sprouts and they don't give a fuck because it's got bacon.
Yeah, you know, there's supplements out there for that. You know, you just bypass all the bullshit.
Well, true.
Yeah, kids is a bit different. I think I got especially when I was younger and Dad was still there. You couldn't leave the table until all the peas and corn were gone.
Yeah, once the plate was clear.
Mate, the fucking pot plant in the middle of the table was very healthy. It got a lot of nutrients, that plant.
My old man was the same, but I had a pit bull. I had a big staffy,
Yeah,
and he was only allowed to a certain point in the house,
yeah,
and that was basically where the dining table was.
yeah, right.
Dad would be sitting there and be like, "Come on, boy, finish your dinner." Inevitably get up for another beer, and you go, "Yeah, sure, no worries. Here, Harley, come here, take this."
Yeah.
And he was perfect. He was a perfect dog. He knew the cue. Like, Dad gets up for a beer, that's get your snack.
Yeah, see, I remember my parents all going like, I didn't like peas when I was your age. You'll grow out of it. I still fucking hate it.
Peas suck, man, unless they're mashed on top of a pie.
Yeah, but then it shouldn't even be like I'm not a big fan of the shepherd's pie either.
No,
like,
that's different. I don't like shepherd pies.
No.
Shepherd's pie sucks.
Most of it's just that bloody packet whipped fucking
Crap.
shit potato or if it's even potato. But
Oh, you don't want to know how that's made.
I probably don't.
No.
I saw a video a while ago on how they make I think it was luncheon.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I used to love luncheon and sauce sandwiches.
Tomato sauce sandwiches, right? Yeah, that shit was a bomb when we were kids.
My missus bought something the other day and it looked like luncheon from the deli, but it had almost like it was slices, but it was bigger and it had like olives and stuff through it.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like the Sopranos used to eat when you were watching that. Yeah. And I'm like, that looks like luncheon. I was like, you know how they make that shit? And she's like, shut up. Like, you ruined this for me. So I just had a quiet giggle to myself about fucking nutsacks and elbows. All sorts of shit goes in that.
Oh, man. It is a horrible thing that we've done to ourselves as a human race, having this processed food in our lives.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Like, because I enjoy the carnivore diet. When I dive into it for a few days, and then I'll be like, I won't have time to. I say I won't have time. I give myself an excuse not to meal prep and all that, and I'll fall off the wagon again, and then moving house and that has been a thing. But creating more structure in my week here, and living closer and all that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward to diving back into it because when I do it and I go, 3 or 4 days of homemade meatballs and steaks and or slices of steak and eggs and that's it for dinner with salt and pepper. Like I love it and I feel better.
Yeah, you do, man. Routine's king. Like routine's king.
Yeah.
One of my cousins, he's I don't know healthy lifestyle influencer. You know,
Right.
he's got quite the following.
Okay.
And every morning, man, I shit you not, at 3:30 in the morning, he sends me a message and, hey, bro, are you walking? And his whole thing is routine.
Yeah.
7 days a week, he is up at 3:30 in the morning having a cold shower, going for a jog.
Right.
And this guy's a unit, man. He's not a huge guy, but he's a fucking unit.
Yeah.
And routine is every time. That's all he's talking about, you know. But he's right, man. And once you get that routine set for yourself,
Yeah.
like it's gospel. Life is easy, man. Life is awesome, you know.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to with the gym, because we've been talking to, like my missus was going on about, you know, like PTs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, honestly, I'm not worried about programs. I'm not worried about anything. I'm going to create a habit of being there every
Yeah.
morning at whatever the time is. And you know what? If some mornings, if I just walk on the treadmill, some mornings I might get on a bike. You know, I've never been big on cardio.
Yeah,
Like
no.
that was one thing for me through school was and athletics and footy and all that was short power stuff. Was like
Yeah.
I was like 100-meter sprint,
Yep.
shot put, javelin, that sort of stuff. Like, you know, footy, I played lock, so I didn't have to do a lot of running. But when I got the ball, you know, I could do a blurt, and you know that was it. I was back to the, you know, around the front row of boys.
Yep.
So I was never big on the cardio. So this for me is just about going, I need to build a habit of X time in the morning, doing what I'm doing, come to work, start my day, and just so I'm not like, when I get to a point where I'm looking at a PT, it's when I've exhausted the internet.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, I'm
don't-
not trying to be, you know, this, I don't even know what percentage people are. Like, I'm not trying to be a 5% body fat, whatever.
No.
Like, I'm like, I like food too much.
Yeah.
And I don't want that level of lifestyle. I just want to, you know, get my shoulders back, you know, bring in the
Yeah.
belt line a bit and,
Yeah.
and feel a bit more energetic and not
Yeah,
like
healthy.
I'm, you know, having dramas doing up my shoelaces.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, but it's the routine's the big one. That's what I'm trying to get
It's
back
that
to.
first step as well. You
Yeah.
know, all the excuses, like you know, us as ourselves, we're our own worst enemy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You know, and actually going, all right, Monday, it's happening, and
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And Monday's the hardest day every time. You know,
Yeah.
when you get to Tuesday and you've actually gone already on Monday, you go, oh fuck, that's right, we're going to the gym this morning. Let's do this. You
Yeah.
know, but if you've got those excuses, man, you got to work through those first.
Yeah, I've done this not with a plan, but it's worked out this way. It's like I'm still waking up at 5
Yeah. See.
because of the drive.
Yeah. Of course.
You know, so now I'm waking up and I'm getting in here and it's like 20 past 5. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, so I've luckily, it's like I'm not allowing myself to fall out of that habit.
Yeah.
So I can be like, all right, well, I can be at the gym at 20 past 5, which means that I can be there for an hour, you know, have a wash, do whatever, and still be here by sort of 6:30, 6:45.
Yeah.
And then the other benefit is that it's like I'm 10 minutes from home when I finish. So now I'm not stressing about what time I leave, because if you fuck up, as you saw coming down today,
Yeah.
that traffic,
That
heading
traffic will
north,
cook
it's
your
shot.
day.
Yeah. So you fuck up your time leaving, an hour drive becomes an hour and a half easy.
Easy. Like
So,
minimum.
Yeah. So now I'm like, I'm just going to work till what time I want to set for the day.
Yep.
And then it's fucking 10 minutes to get home.
Oh, dude, you could be walking to work now. Like, you're that close.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, no. We don't build these cars just so we can walk. Like,
No.
Come on.
No. I'm not that keen either.
So what's on the agenda for you for the rest of the year, man?
Oh, God. Fuck. What about the rest of the month? Look, this
This year's been epic for you already.
Oh, it's so much fun. We had our first reach out. A lot of the guests that we've had, I've either reached out or they've been kind of referred or you
Yeah.
know, introductions or whatever. We had our first off the bat company reach out and say what's involved in getting onto the show.
Sick.
Flying up from Melbourne to do an episode, and I
Oof.
was like, "Holy shit! Okay, this is a thing." Which is actually off the back of doing the episode with the boys from Huracan Fabrication, because they flew up to do an episode too.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, that's not, I mean, so much of this was unexpected. So this is really where I've got a lot of focus in trying to develop this further.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, and my drama is that I enjoy it so much because I love stories.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've said it on here before, so I apologize for anybody that's heard me say it 100 times. There's not too much time in our days. Everything is so busy these days where there's not too much time where you basically turn your phone off, put it aside, and engage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have gotten so much more out of that than I expected. It's almost like a little kind of therapy
100% now.
thing that I do each week
Look,
now.
when I got here this afternoon, man, like I was a bit fucking nervous, The last interview I did with someone, I was like, holy crap. By the end of it, I was like, felt like I'd been put through the ringer. Did I say the right thing? Did I represent the company right? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
And even when you reminded me, like, dude, we're mates. We're just catching up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's right. Just stop stressing, dickhead.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're having beers. We're talking shit.
That's right.
But watching your show develop, man, it's been great. And seeing your reach grow, and I was only saying to you just earlier, but seeing you have Pauline Hanson here and then little Mick.
Yeah.
Like,
Back to, what a
such
combo.
such different. I'd love to get them both at the table sometime.
Yeah.
And get them both here. And here I don't know, could you? Like, is that even allowed? Like,
I don't know.
Such different views, but also very similar views at the same time.
I'd love. Well, look, I mean, one of the episodes that we do, which is we've dubbed it "Builds Beers and Bullshit," which is with Clayton from Method, Barney, and Jamie.
Yeah,
and it's a kind of there's no structure. I mean, there's no structure anyway, but it's like there's even less structure because nobody's really got anything specific to touch on. It's just catching up, talking shit, drinking beer. So I guess if we get an outlet that's got no structure, maybe we could do one that does have some structure and put a couple of people down here that maybe have different views on things.
Get a bit of you'd have to put them on a different side of the table.
I fucking sit them next to each other.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Just lay out a couple of random forks on the table
and
see who gets stabbed. No, I think it's so much different than what I originally thought. The build series stuff, waiting to see what's happening with Channel 7 and that production company and all that, because one of the big things with that was filming for that took forever to get a deal together because I wanted equal ownership of the footage.
And that's so important for you, man.
It's important for me. It's important for the companies that were involved. Yep. I think the first thing that they come back with was the name, which they wanted to call like Outback Customs or something like that. And I'm like, we're in the middle of fucking Brisbane. Like, it's not,
come on,
like,
dude.
that's retarded. And I was like, no, I want it to be called Wildside, either Wildside the series or just Wildside Garage or whatever. Yep. But it's like, it's my name. Whatever we're doing is my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not going to have, I'm not going to lose access to the socials. And if we're promoting something, we're going to promote my socials. And
absolutely.
all this shit took forever to get that sort of put together. But now it's like the only thing that I sort of agreed to was we can't start, really dropping episodes until it's gone live because they want it to be the premiere of whatever the episode is.
Man, like, I don't want to talk you into telling too many details about it, but from what you've told me, it sounds sick, bro. And I'm very proud of you, man. Like,
I appreciate it.
It's very cool, dude.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm also now, I'm of the opinion where I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens with that is whatever happens with it. Because there's so many lessons I've learned in even just doing these that now I'm like, now I kind of want to be a little bit more like the Bad Chad stuff. Jolene, his partner, like they film an hour a day. She breaks it up into 4 15-minute segments to put YouTube to do their ads or whatever they do.
Yeah.
And that's what they put up. And it's just basically a day with, or an hour, but it's like that's how they do their thing. And so because I'm doing this show as well, I kind of want to do like one episode at the end of the week and just go like, a week at Wildside kind of thing is just, this week on Wildside and a bit of a preview, then some stuff. Because I enjoy the editing. That's a bit of fun. I like a challenge. So that's a whole thing. the which direction to take, whether we go down the path of doing an expansion so I can do all these, like the mental health builds.
Yeah,
And,
which are going to be epic, by the way.
The drama with that is it's like, some of the guys, like they're in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
This bathroom is not any kind of wheelchair friendly.
Oh, man, my big ass barely fits in there some days.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean? So there's parts of it that are like, I would love to do that. That means a newer building, newer amenities, a bigger location too, where, because you're only going to get these guys down, maybe an afternoon a week.
Yeah.
So that whole floor space, which is bigger than a normal job because you've got to have wheelchair access, I've got to lose that space for probably 8-10 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and I can't do that here.
No.
There's a lot to work through.
It all starts with a vision. Just remind yourself of that.
Yeah, and look, whatever's going to happen, I found in 22 I had a good lesson in whatever you want to call it, God, universe, spirits, whatever. I've had this thing where when I know I need to do something and I put it off,
Yeah.
I'll use the universe for an example. I get little nudges, and for ages it was like I need a restart. I need a reset point. Got to part ways with guys and just go back to me. And I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And it got to a point where the universe went, right, you're not listening. Thud.
Yeah.
We'll do it for you.
And sometimes that's what we need.
Look, I needed it because I'm a sucker for a sob story and all the other bullshit that I've said a million times. And it was like, if it had been led to me, it would have just kept dragging on.
Yeah.
But situations presented themselves where it was like, this is what's happening. You haven't been listening, so we're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So I'm in that position at the moment where I'm like, there's two very different tracks we can go down, and I'm sort of waiting to see what the universe puts in front of me.
Yeah.
To give me a direction to go, because we can polish this up to do what we're doing now and just keep going down this track, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
Or we can go to that kind of next level and have, with Wildside Inc., the tattoo studio and the showroom and all the other cool shit, the whiskey bar in the corner and, all that stuff. I'm just trying to see how that plays out. I've started to learn over the last 12 months, 18 months doing this, that the grip, I just gotta release that grip and let some stuff happen. Let the
Follow
blood
the
flow.
flow.
Yeah,
That's it.
but at the moment, it's just really enjoying stuff, which has been a long time, and giving myself the structure at home.
Yeah.
Which then will give me structure here.
Yep.
Which will then allow me to actually go away on a fucking trip again, because I still haven't. I've been saying it for a year and a half now. Mid 22 was the last time I went away.
What?
Yeah, man. Kinkuna.
Dude. You got to come wheeling, bro.
Dude, I haven't been on it. I took the BT50 on a track for shits and giggles when I got that, and that was like, God, fucking lifting wheels and shit and leaf suspension in the rear. Yeah,
There's
terrible.
nothing wrong with leaves.
No, but like I like a bit of the fun articulation stuff. I won't go, I don't go stupid.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the slow crawl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, Leafs don't always let you do.
No.
But like this 80, that'll be a lot of fun. The Shifty 50 I want to build, that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be sick.
But yeah, it's creating structure and routine and giving myself the benefit of that brings. So creating structure and routine to give myself the benefit of the work that I've done.
Yep.
And the benefit of the routine, allowing me some time to enjoy
Yeah.
the
work.
fruits of the labor.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly
thing,
right.
Which is not stacks of cash, but it's like it's a long weekend once a month.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know. Like we did when we were moving. The 2 weekends prior, like I worked here during the week, packed on the weekend. Worked here during the week, packed on the weekend. Worked here Monday, Tuesday, moved house Wednesday, Thursday, came back here Friday, went back, did the clean on the house, the bond clean the new house, because whatever the fuck happened with tenant rules, the guys that were in this place we're in now, they don't have to provide receipts for like bond cleans and shit anymore.
What?
No, this is what I said. So we got in there, and this is not a cheap joint, and we were like, and it's not a backyard branded real estate that we're through.
Yeah.
And we went in there and we're like, what the fuck? And there was 2 weeks. We saw it, and there was a 2-week gap between when we were getting it, and we listed off a handful of different things, and we were like, oh, is this getting done? Is this getting done? So anyway, so we got in there, and we did a bond clean, effectively. And now we're coming up to, that was last week. Now we're coming up to this weekend. I've got probably Saturday, because now we've got to rectify all the outside, gurney and all the house down the driveways and clean up gardens and whatever else. So Sunday I'll have a day off, and then we'll be back at it Monday. But it's like, which I don't mind doing, because like, you know, I'm useless doing nothing unless I'm on a beach.
Yeah.
But at home, sitting there, like marinating, watching TV does nothing for me. It's like all I'll be doing is thinking about what I should be doing here.
Yeah, exactly right.
But I'm looking forward to that more structure to give me some
freedom.
Some freedom, yeah, and actually go out wheeling and have some fun and doing just a day trip or a glass house run and Imbil and staying at Kenilworth.
So much fun, man.
Yeah,
we were just out at Glass House on the weekend, and
yeah, Barney was rubbing that in.
Oh man,
Shithead.
Of course, you've seen how Barney wheels.
Oh yeah.
You know? And so we're out there with a bunch of wanderers, and there's some videos up there, man. If you get a chance, we're out there with 20-odd cars. You know, some pretty newbie guys, and then also some pretty experienced drivers, and then some guys that literally just live, breathe, chew glasshouse mud. You know? And seeing the difference in drivers. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like, my best mate, he's in this patrol that's, it's pretty well. He could drive anything.
Yeah.
And he's just driving through this, like, it's nothing. And Barney drives the exact same line, and next minute Barney's like waving to the crowd. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you've done too much TV, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome drive, and because, so we'd just taken the canopy off the back of his ute just to try something different. Yeah. And he's like, man, I just want to see what it feels like. Hello, and I hear him like, got the camera, got the photographer. I'm like, that's the shot, bro. Yeah, like that's the shot.
Is that on YouTube yet, or just on
not
socials?
on YouTube? It'll be on Instagram. There's a couple of Instagram reels.
Hit up the Legendex page on Instagram.
It'll be on the Legendex or the Wanderers one.
One of them.
One of them.
Yeah, no, he's a nut. He's
very confident behind the wheel. Probably too confident sometimes. But he's, man, a great driver. Might have to go to the Wanderers one. Oh, no.
I think that's
the
yours,
photo
isn't it?
there, yeah. If he...
You got any noise on this? Yeah, down the bottom.
And then this next one's just so controlled. Like, it's just beautiful. Hello.
Oh, that's a wheel lift.
Yeah. And this is the exact same line, and it's the patrol, just like, just crawling it. Just hello, like Sunday driving.
I really want to say I raptored that.
No, he painted that one himself.
Did he?
That's like the 7th lay of Raptor on that car.
Yeah, right. That's like the Merlot that I've done a few of them in that colour.
Yeah, you've done a few. They look good, that colour.
Yeah, it does. What's as in next to the right or next backwards?
Sorry.
Are you talking about the video, like the next video, or?
So if you jump out of that one, go next to my ugly mug, go left. Yeah, try that one. I think it's that one.
Yeah, sound, buddy. There you go. We're going to get cancelled for playing this.
Oh, man.
There you go.
This is such a good day, to see everyone out just enjoying wheeling. Just being in the bush together.
Yeah.
This is Barney's like highlight reel from the day from his car.
Yeah.
He'll love that I pointed this out. So the next clip here, he's on this track, and there's a little hill climb. Maybe it's not this video. There's another video. He's on this hill, and it's like he's into it, trying to get it.
Yeah.
And then that red patrol literally drove it like second time.
Yeah.
And Barney's done a hub trying to do it,
Really?
And the crowd's just going ballistic, Barney broke something, here he is, that's where he's broken it.
Oh, yeah.
And then that red patrol got it like second or third go.
That one where he's bouncing up there, is that where there's like the 4 tracks in a row, the different levels?
Yeah, up the bottom, wombat holes, yeah.
Yeah.
And these days are a harder day, like we're pretty open about the fact that it's a hard day.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're in for when you're going somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And we don't do a lot of that. We might go to Glasshouse maybe once a year.
Yeah.
Get the crew out there, have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Like our next big event, or later in the year, is our Cruise for the Blues, which is epic. Like we take over Lakeside Park for a day, like the raceway.
Yeah.
And literally, like, so JT is the owner. I've told him I had this vision.
Of Lakeside.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cruise for the Blues. Let's do something. It's Forbies. It's like, you know, Street Machine. It's everything together. But we've got dirt drags. We've got a flex ramp. We've got actual cruise sessions. We've got
Where the hell are they setting that up?
at Lakeside Park Raceway. So this coming year is my 3rd year doing it.
Right.
And it's ballistic. I think total we've raised like 45 grand or something.
Wow.
Yeah. And just for a bunch of hillbillies that went to the guy who owned a raceway and said, hey, we've kind of got this idea. What do you think? You know?
Yeah.
And he's just gone, yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, nice.
And fully behind it, you know. And to see the community get behind an event like that is just epic, you know. So definitely look out for that one. That's October, Cruise for the Blues.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got to
cool.
come down for that one, man.
Yeah,
You'll love that day.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely come down and see it. Because I'm still, there's a part of me that never let go of the slamming them down low and making them loud and going quick. And
That's a boy thing, isn't it?
yeah, it
Isn't
is. It's how long has he owned that for?
It's been a while now. Yeah, he's had
right.
it for a few years. I met JT maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And then just pitched the idea. We just rolled from there.
So what's the average sort of thing for you guys? Like, or I wouldn't say average, but the more common thing is what, day runs?
Day runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, day runs. But it just depends because a lot of the members will come up and go, "Oh, can we do this?" And we'll go, "Hell yeah, dude!"
Yeah.
You know, you want to go to Bribey? Heap of people are keen. Cool. And this thing, it's a social club.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, the guys running the page aren't hosting all the events.
Okay.
We've got a handful of events throughout the year, which are like the major events.
Yep.
You know, so like they're the big ones where we're really going to put our balls to the wall and create something cool for people.
Yeah.
Like Cruise for Blues.
Yep.
And then other times it could just be, you know, Uncle Mick's going, bloody hell, guys, I'm going up to Bribey. Who wants to come? We're having a
Okay,
barbecue up at Bribey.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the part of it where we want to support people having that opportunity. Yeah. He might go, oh, I've never driven it before. I need someone to give me a bit of a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody oath, man. I've driven 100 times. Come on. I'll show you. Let's go. You know.
I've still never driven Bribey.
What?
I've gone down to the beach and done a heap of photo shoots. Like, so the surf side, go past the club,
Yep.
up to the access point,
Yep.
out. Yeah. I've driven that and gotten out to the beach and done God only knows how many photo shoots.
Yeah.
But I've never gone up. Because
Yeah, right.
I'm Kinkuna.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like-
Cancun is beautiful, bro.
It's
different,
it's
but
quiet.
yeah. Whereas like Double Island's ruined, man. Like it's
Yeah.
in the bin, bro. It's shit. Like there's that many dickheads there now.
Yeah.
It's crap.
What have you got? Have you guys got any, when you're doing your events, have you reached out to any like butchers or anything like that to get their signs up there and supply some snags and get involved
Yeah,
like
we've
that?
had a
or-
few butchers over the years like come out, reach out to us and go. So Australia Day, we actually had Snag Fest.
Nice.
So it started with like the Age Old Joke Sausage Fest, you know,
Yeah.
and then it was Snag Fest. It was Australia. Who can make the best sausage? So we had a heap of butchers actually get behind us and put in a few different sausages.
Yeah.
And then everyone jumped in and cooked their best sausages.
Right.
And it was fucking ripper, man. Like one of
Yeah.
the boys, he's South African. He rocked up with this hot dog like this, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Check out my sausage." I'm like, dude.
There's a play on that.
There's
I'm
a
just
play
gonna
on
let it
that.
go.
But then, you know, like there was one of the young boys, he made like a taco sausage sizzle. And it was literally like a burrito, but with a sausage and then like guacamole and like, it was delicious.
Yeah,
It
right.
was super different and I never would have thought of it. But,
No, that's a brilliant idea.
yeah. But yeah, we try to just make it fun, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to pause it. I need to go run for a piss.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Take a leak. Come back. We'll wrap it up.
Oh, man. That was amazing. 10-second break. I feel like a kilo lighter.
You're starting to sound like Barney.
Dude, this is the worst thing, right? So when I first started at Legendex, one of the boys, you know, boys being boys. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So what are you, Barney's son or something? I went, what do you mean? He
Yeah.
goes, beard, you know.
Yeah.
Well, oh, yeah, righto, mate. Yeah, whatever. Next minute, you know, I had a customer. And, you know, you answer the phone. Thanks for calling Legendex. How can I help you today?
Yeah.
You know? And Barney, mate. And I'm like, no, it's Jesse. The customer's like, who the fuck's Jesse? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm the new bloke here, mate. No, Barney's right-hand man. We'll call it that, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yeah, righto. Well, if you sound like Barney, you're probably as good as him. I'm sure you can help me out. I'm like, yeah, all right. What can I do for you, man? Who can I buy some fucking wheels off? You're like, oh, mate, all these fellas. They make some bloody good wheels. You got Mickey Thompson's. That's what you want. Fuck yeah.
Method race wheels.
Oh yeah, it's a method. Great wheel again.
There you go.
But at the time, like he's chasing a set of muddies, you know.
Yeah.
So I put him onto some Mickeys, and but it's something that comes up quite a lot. Customers on the phone.
Yeah.
Hey Barney, mate, how are you?
Yeah.
Like, no, you've got Jesse again. And,
Right.
That's all right. You're the young one. That's all right. I'll look after you. What can you do for me, kid? I'm chasing one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
And like they just jump straight to the kid thing, like
Yes.
or young fella.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm getting old, man. Like I appreciate that. That makes me feel great, but
Yeah.
I'm not a kid anymore.
It's the age gap though. You know, like who were we talking to the other day? It was a conversation about these guys, you know, being 20. I'm like, oh, you're fucking babies.
Yeah.
You know, like, but then, you know, you get some guys come down here and they're, you know, in their 70s and
Yep.
80s, and they'd say that to me. You know, and, you know, you bloody young whippersnapper, you still got a while to go. You know, whatever. That one's you. If it's your soldier, and we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, go on.
You've
Go
done-
one more.
You've done well.
Oh,
Hey,
mate.
all the nerves go. Everybody says the same thing. The fucking 5 minutes in, you forget there's cameras going.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think as someone who's dealt with mental health most of my life
Yeah.
and diagnosed, I don't take medication.
Yeah.
I'm a naturalist, you know.
Right.
Coming and doing things like this it's a big challenge, you know. And mate, you've been great, and you've supported me and guided me before this. Give me a bit of a pep talk, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a huge thing for me.
No,
Like,
it's good. You should be
you
proud
know,
of yourself.
I'm a kid from the sticks, man. Like, well, not the sticks, but like I grew up in the hood. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was out in the streets doing my own thing, and getting to sit in a chair like this tonight and have a chat with another bloke about the shit, you know,
Yeah.
just shooting the shit about the industry or what we're up to.
Yeah.
I think it's an important thing, you know. There's not a lot of people are getting this opportunity anymore to sit down and just have a yarn.
Dude, life in and of itself has, and that's what I was saying before, like one of the side benefits that I wasn't expecting to get so much out of was that couple of hours of having a conversation.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you know, when I was growing up, like there wasn't all the social media, and you know, it was your mates coming around and sitting out. Like, we used to sit out on the porch of his mum's or my mum's for fucking hours.
Yep.
Just talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not that it's because there was nothing else to do. Like, I mean, to a degree, I guess there wasn't the options that there are now, but it was like you could. What is it? We used to say that Hamish and Andy pinched that idea of us.
Yeah.
Because it was two mates just talking shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And making each other laugh. And it's like that there's a lot of the social media and a lot of the access to social media has been great because it's given some really good platforms to people.
It's a great resource. Absolutely.
It's also given platforms to some fucking idiots.
Oh man.
But the sharing of information, it's brilliant. So from that point of view, no worries. But there's a lot of that has been lost or bypassed or replaced.
Yeah.
And we would sit out there for fucking hours just making each other just in stitches.
Just talking shit.
Yeah.
And
You know?
how good is it? Like for your heart, you know, for your soul,
Yeah.
to just connect with someone.
It
You know,
is.
even if it's talking about crappy poached eggs from Coffee Club.
But it's the thing, it's almost like the topics almost don't matter. It's
Yeah.
like it's just that the world shuts off for a while
Yep.
and you're not asleep.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly
or
right.
you're not just being fed a movie.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not one, like I won't read a book. Like I've tried, you know, and I'll get, my drama is that if I'm really super into the topic, like I'll start reading it.
Yep.
But by about the third or fourth page, I've gotten to the end of the page. I'm like, I have no idea what I just read.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't, you know, whereas I will watch and engage in a movie
Yep.
and feel the emotions and ups and downs and whatever else is going on. But the one-on-one with a person, that I wasn't expecting. I knew it was going to be one-on-one with a person, and I knew there was going to be no phones, but I didn't have the understanding of what I would take from that. Because
Yeah.
there's been ones that we've done where, like we did one with Melinda Richards recently, and God, we covered That was 2 hours and 51 minutes edited.
Wow.
And we went through, God, woke stuff, feminism, American, Australian politics, slavery. Like, I mean, I got to the end of that, and my brain was tired.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
that
getting
was
painful just hearing that. Yeah.
yeah, but it was amazing. Like, I walked away from that going like, or even come back in and say goodbye, come back in and said to Shawnee, I was like, man, my head is fried.
Yeah.
And we finished that by going, we better wrap this up because, you know, there was no end in sight. Like, we'll have her back at some point because that was so engaging and so it pushed parts of my thinking that I wasn't even aware that were a thing to be pushed.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's James from Pirate Campfire, where we were just
He's a character. I love him.
Oh, dude, that was a lesson for me on, you know, not drinking after a day in the shed, sweating your ass off and skipping lunch, and everywhere in between. You know, so I get so much more out of it than I was expecting to, and the fact that there's people out there that are getting a lot out of bits and pieces of it as well. Yeah, is just, you know, awesome. And that, like, you know, people like you coming down sharing your story about, you know, mental health through different industries and, you know, finding your feet in a place that, you know, like with Barney, which is just the perfect, you know, kind of the perfect combination of the big dog and a papa bear and a bro, you know, all in one.
Oh, 100%,
you know,
man.
You know,
like,
lunatic.
And that's the thing. Like when I gave up cooking, I was so lost, man. Like, what do I do? You know. And I started like thinking about, well, I've given all this up for my sons.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something that they love. And they love monster trucks, man. Like, who doesn't love monster trucks? Yeah. And we're into four-wheel driving. And so that's why I got into the four-wheel drive industry. Yeah. You know, I had skills, learnt skills. I had business management skills. You know, I had certain amount of skills that were applicable. But when it comes to actually doing certain things, I fucking no idea. Yeah. So I had to really deep dive and jump in. So I'm very fortunate to have the opportunities that I've had and to be able to work along someone like Barney, where he's lived it, breathed it, done it for the last 20 plus years. Yeah. You know, you go to him with a question, man. He's not only got an idea, but he's also done it, broken it on the tracks, fixed it, you know, and he'll teach you the bush way of fixing it. And then he'll also teach you, but this is how you're supposed to fix it. Yeah. You know? And so it's such an amazing opportunity to be in the industry, supported and mentored by someone like that. Yeah.
What's one thing that you would take that you would change? Like, what are you driving now?
So I got a 2019 Collie.
Yeah. So, did you have that when you started with him?
Yep. So I've had my Collie since it was like brand new. Okay. So like, it's been done. Everything's been done to it that I could have done it, and then I've taken it all back. So I had the 4-inch lift, 2-inch body lift, big old 33s. Like, been there, done that. Realized it drove like a piece of shit. Redid it. I think I've done my suspension on that car about 6 or 7 times. Yeah. Sounds like Darren when he was there. Yeah. And because, like, you know, we're boys in the shed. We get talking to things, and then next minute it's Friday afternoon. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's buy a case of beers and let's do it. Like, yeah, it was only this week, man. Like, you know, I had some ball joints. I was literally about to exit the chat. Yeah. And, you know, the boys were like, well, if you buy pizza, let's do it tonight. I'm like, yeah, done. Yeah. Pizza's on me. Boys, we're all in. Let's go. Yeah. You know.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, and it's one of the best parts. Like this week, we're hyping up for Dyno Night, right? And so, the Dyno Social. So
no, we'll be up there tomorrow.
Yeah, hell yeah, awesome.
Say hello.
Yeah, love it.
This will be like way out of date when this goes out, but
yeah. Well, we're doing other ones later in the year anyway. Yeah. So this is my first big, you know, event that I'm, you know, producing on behalf of Legendex. Yeah. You know, normally I'm doing it with Wanderers where it's like we're just hillbillies going wheeling, like who gives a shit, you know? Yeah. Now it's like a little bit of decorum behind it, you know? And like it's actually looking like it's going to be epic, like huge event. The support's looking like it's going to be great.
Yeah, and you got some big names coming up there too.
Yeah. And the
big names and some really, you know, I won't drop anything because I don't want to, you know, this, I mean, to be out of date now anyway, but by the time this goes live, but like Barney was telling me some of the guys that are coming up, you know, and some of the causes that they're involved with. I'm really looking forward to coming up and meeting some of these guys.
So the Harrison Payne Initiative, I'm starting my year off strong, right? So the Harrison Payne Initiative's really good friends of mine, and so they lost their son to
That's Kenton.
Kenton Carter.
Yeah.
Yep. If you don't know this story, please Google it. In short, they lost their son on a preventable car accident in the beach.
Yeah.
And they've done amazing things to change, the expectations of how we drive off-road, how we're taught to drive off-road, and then the laws around driving off-road. So they're doing amazing things, right? And so I've started the year strong, and I said, all right, Ken, I want to do this all for you, bro. And Barney's like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, it's not about money. We're all boys hanging out at the shop. Yeah, we're going to have the dyno going. Sick. Some of the Wanderers boys, someone's organised a flex ramp, I heard. And then, there's a few other things. But I reached out to 10, 15 industry friends, you got those connections. And I said, hey, guys, I'm doing dyno night. Who's keen? You want to come out? Just hang out?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I want to do a raffle for the Harrison Payne guys. What do you got? Give me some shit. What can you hook me up with for the Harrison Payne team?
Yeah.
The response has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
This raffle table would be twice the size of this table.
Yeah.
Full.
Nice.
And it's like, Barney was like, oh, so you've organised some raffle prizes. I'm like, yeah, trust me, it's coming, bro.
Yeah.
And over the last probably week or so, he's just like, are you sure? Like, there's a lot of stuff, man. I'm like, yeah, but that's an epic raffle, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is probably the sickest raffle I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, sick. That's what I want. I want people to walk up and go, holy fuck, I want to win that.
Yeah.
And we're giving away everything, man. There's remaps and it's tread boards and all sorts of shit. I think every company that's in the industry has literally gotten behind this.
Yeah.
Which is great, all for a good cause. And that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Like to hang out, remember when we were kids, you can hang out at Aspley Macca's and the car meets and do nothing productive with your life?
Yeah.
And now it's like we're old and shit. And it's like, well, we don't want to go too far. And we're also going to do this properly and safely. And now we're just going to hang out in a car park.
Yeah.
What a circle of events, right?
Bringing it full circle.
Yeah. I'm just hoping there's no Macca's trays at this event. I don't know, Macca's trays a thing for you?
I'd forgotten all about Macca's trays. You remember you put them under the, we upgraded to the water check tops. The water out the front of your house. You pop that big thick green.
Oh, that
thing
big
off.
thick plastic thing.
Yeah,
right. That would have been way better.
You put them under the back wheels and put the handbrake onto a front wheel drive car, and you're just skating around everywhere because it's just on skidding around.
It's heaps of fun. Yeah.
Fuck, I'd forgotten all about doing that.
Oh man, there's a whole generation of kids that are about to watch this and go, "Fuck yes, we're doing that."
Yeah,
don't do it.
I remember. We'd stack Macca's trays.
Did you ever masking tape them, tape them silver tape, 1,000 mile an hour? So we used to tape them together.
Yeah, right.
You get 4 or 5, tape them together.
That would have made getting onto them a lot easier. I'll say that. But
getting onto them was hard.
Yeah, but those the I don't know, water meter grates. They're look at the size of a shoebox, but they're an inch and a half thick.
Yeah,
they would last way longer.
Yeah, that would be
way
awesome.
Better plastic.
But a way safer way of doing that is at Lakeside, when we do our Cruise for the Blues, we actually have the skid pan open as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like last year, I had a Barra swapped Raptor.
Oh, wow.
Which is like this. If you haven't seen this car, it's called Wait What,
Right.
And it's a blue Raptor. It's got everything you can think of.
Yeah.
But it's got a Barra under the bonnet.
Right.
It's meant to be,
Yeah.
And this thing's, I think it's 700 or 800 horsepower.
Yep.
It's off its tits.
Yeah.
And literally smoking up 37 muddies on the skid pan.
That's nuts.
It's off its head. You don't see that. Where in the world are you even allowed to do that? Lakeside.
Well, that's at, I want to call it Luxifer.
Oh man, Luxifer, yeah, that's a weapon.
He's a local boy.
Yeah, he is.
We're going to try and line up a time for him to come down and have a bit of a chin wag about that thing.
It's Kyle, yeah,
yeah, that's it,
yeah. I've met him a couple of times, man. He's a good egg. He's a proper good egg.
He seems like a good egg. I think, there's so much fun. I mean, the fact that old mate out at Lakeside's getting involved in a lot of it, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I just, if I was going to spend that much money, I would. There is a part of me, and it might be generational, but there is a part of me that is like, if I'm going to spend that much money, it's just got to be a V8.
Well, yeah.
There is a rumble that you get from even a Coyote swapped
Yeah,
Raptor
yeah.
would be, for me, sure, it's going to be less power.
Yeah.
Right? I get that. But it's a V8.
Yeah.
And it's going to rumble.
See, like
You know.
like I've always been brought up a Holden boy, right?
Yeah.
And everyone goes, "Oh, fucking Holden." You know, I don't care. I love a Holden.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm saying.
And you see all these, like, there's some amazing 4Bs getting around at the moment, and they've got LS swap patrols and stuff.
Yes.
And they're fucking great.
Yes.
You know, a friend of mine, Bluey, it's called, this car. It's a blue GU patrol,
Right.
LS1, and it's immaculate. Like, it's clean. But it's also one of those cars, like, you'll be walking down the street and you hear it come out behind you, and you just get that rumble.
Yes.
And I'm going to say in your tummy.
Yes.
But, you know, and you go, holy fuck, I want to go home with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to drive you home. You know? But it's one of those cars that's just, it's beautiful. You know, it's a work of art. You know, cars aren't made like that anymore.
No, there's, as far as, I mean, because it's like, it's a toy.
Yeah,
Like, if
that's it.
you put in a, 700 or 800 horsepower Barra in it, it's a toy.
Yeah. You're not driving that to work.
No,
Come on.
like Sammy Young, we did the bonnet on that 80 series build that he did,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like it's got 1,000 horsepower, I think it was,
Yeah.
and he rang me at one point and he's like, "So we're thinking about turning this thing into a stadium truck because we're having so much dramas with
Talk dirty to me. Jeez.
Because he's like, we're having so much dramas with the the legality and this and that." I'm like, your rear suspension's through the floor. Like,
yeah.
This
You
is a
wonder
toy.
why. Yeah.
Like, you want to turn it into a toy, a proper toy. Forget Rego.
Yeah, exactly right.
You cut the back off. We'll do some bar work. We'll mount the wheel up on on a cool angle and whatnot else, and have it as a toy.
Yeah.
Drive it on privately owned property and tracks and whatever else.
Did you see him wheeling that recently at the Springs?
I saw something up at Glasshouse.
So
I didn't see
that
Springs.
thing is beautiful off-road.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Oh, it's
But for what he's spent on it, like, it's immaculate.
yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I get. You know what? There was a bloke that was on I want to say TikTok, and he was talking about the Fall Drive show just gone.
Yeah.
And it had some engagement, his post, but he was talking about how he went down and everybody is just pushing these 150, 250, 350 and up $1,000 builds.
Yeah.
And it's like, that. It's for the average everyday person that's going to those shows,
It's never happening.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, because there's been a couple of times where I sit back and I go, not that I question my builds, but I'm like, it'd be nice to have that budget.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was talking to Leon from MAXTRAX, and he was talking about the job that they just did for whatever the build was, I think for Rhino Rack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we did the body off swap,
Oh, yeah.
body off thing for Brad.
Yeah, that was epic.
On his old Jeep Willys. I said, why don't you go and get a Renegade
Yes.
and build the Renegade to be the modern version of that?
Yeah.
You're going to pick up one of them secondhand with a few Ks on it for, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 grand.
Yep.
You're going to throw everything at it that you can because it'll flex like a sick deer
Oh, exactly.
with very little work.
Yeah.
Do the color scheme, put the star on the bonnet, do the letters down the bonnet, all that sort of
Yeah.
shit. You could do it as a catalog build. There'd be no fab.
Yeah.
And you're 120 in it. And that's at
Worst.
least at worst. And that's owning the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's still up there. Like, I do my builds, and I'm like, for the guys that can't get into a 79 at 100 grand and then spend another 100, we can do a chopped 80 with all the fruit and everything else. And
Yeah, exactly right.
you're on the road, finished, ready to go, touring, set up 50, 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
So it's like, but when you hear these young guys, that's what they took from that show. It's like, I mean, I think the industry needs to go. It's not. I mean, sure, there's people out there that'll spend it, but your average everyday consumer is not doing that. The guys that are watching these shows, the guys that are following you on socials,
Yeah.
they're running probably. I mean, I'm going to be generic. And I could be
98
wrong.
patrol.
But they're going to run between $5 grand
Yep.
and probably 45 grand.
And that's something
probably the playground.
like we see it at Legendex every day, man. Like I get young fellas coming to me and they go, "I just bought this $2,000 D22," and I go, "Fuck yeah, dude, this is gonna be sick. How much money? What are we doing? What's the plan? What's the journey?"
Yeah.
And they go, "I just want to wheel the hard tracks," and I go, "Oh, this is I love you already."
Yeah.
You know, what's your budget? What are we playing with? All right, I've got maybe 5 for suspension, so I'm jumping in pretty deep on suspension.
Yep.
Or maybe they're going to blow right out, and maybe they're going to go around the 10 on suspension,
Yeah.
and just do it all immaculately and go comp spec.
Yeah.
And then you go, all right, cool. Are we going to close door respray it? I know a guy. You know,
Yeah.
talk to my guy. We don't, you know, it's not our forte is spray painting.
Yeah.
You know, that's something, you know, we leave to the professionals.
Yeah.
But you go through the journey of this build, and this kid's bought, you know, D22, maybe 2, maybe 3. He's dropped maybe 6, maybe 7 on suspension, and it's fucking quality suspension. You know?
Yeah.
He's up there, you know, and then he's going to go to the next 11, do it maybe a cheeky little 12 volt for behind the seat just so he can keep the fridge charging.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're going to do wheels, tires, and like a major service. I'm going to run over the whole engine and maybe just dump 5 in getting that engine back to healthy.
Yeah.
And this kid's like, he's under 20 for a car that he can go and do the cape in.
Yeah.
You know, and he's going to love his life.
Yeah.
You know, recently I just did an 80 rebuild, and I had this young fella. So the father was like a lifelong customer with Barney.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in, want to talk about my son's car. And so the son just kind of gravitated to me, and we got talking. What do we want to do with this 80?
Yeah.
I said, first, take me for a drive in it, man.
Yeah.
Tell me your woes. Tell me your problems with the car.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, I want to make you happy.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix your problems for you.
Yeah.
The suspension under it was just a bag of shit. You know, it's typical 80s, you know. Had a good life. Let's give it a new life.
Yeah.
You know, and the young man, he was all on board. We talked, this is a plan, this is a theory, this is what we want to get done. You know, we spent, I think, maybe 8 hours just on rewiring it.
Wow.
I think we took out, one of the boys measured it out, it would have been about 300 meters worth of wiring that was in the car that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
You know, it was like weight reduction, bro. Come on.
Well,
Like-
weight reduction, fire retardant,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
But this build, man, like it started as a little passion project with father and son,
Yeah.
and they just wanted to get their cruiser built, to this product where, you know, I washed it the day we gave it back to him. Like, here I am out. You know, Barney's like, oh, you get your Keeney on. Like, I'm out there, like, got the beard and the foam, you know, washing down this car for this young lad.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's rocked up on the day, and I've just gone, dude, like, meet your new car.
Yep.
You know, and yeah, they'd put, I wouldn't say crazy money. You know, it was under 50K,
Yeah.
quite substantially under that. But they drove away with a car that was safe, reliable, healthy, brand new suspension, brand new tires, wheels. Everything on it was back to kind of either factory or upgraded to a level that was going to mean he could go and do the tracks he wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, and this kid's got a love for photography, right?
Right.
So the first thing he says to me is, can you take my photo with my car? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
100%. And he's like, pulled it up outside Legendex, got his photo.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, we're making kids' dreams come true here.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it for 150K.
No.
You know? And that's the realistic side of four driving, you know, because you know you're going to crush that panel again.
Oh, yeah.
You know you're going to rip that tire off that rim. Like, as much as I love doing those big builds, and we do some amazing builds at Legendex,
Yeah.
like, I get guys come to me, and their plans are like, at first, it's like, okay, we need to sit down here for a minute and have a real discussion around the length, the journey, really what we're in for here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
But when you get the opportunity to give new life to a car like an old 80,
Yeah.
you know, and we did a closed door respray on that as well.
Right.
Or we didn't do it. We organized it, you know.
Yeah.
And this car, like, it rolled out of the dyno room out to this young man, and it was like stepping back in time. Except it was on 33s with like some really beautiful. I can't remember what rims we had on it, but it was mint. You know,
We'll
it was
just say that. We'll say they were methods.
We'll say that.
We'll say you made the right choice.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same. I love it. It's that would be the only hard part for me with a lot of the stuff you guys do under the bonnet is like mine is you know, the resprays, rust repair.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, obviously we both do accessory fitting and stuff like that, but the wheels and tires, it's like someone comes down here and spends 20 grand. It's when they rock up, it's like, it's a different truck.
Yeah, exactly.
You could spend 20 grand under the bonnet, and if you don't pop the bonnet, the truck looks the same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because half of what, I mean, obviously you gotta get the dollars to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But there is a big chunk of what I do besides that, which is the reaction.
Yeah, exactly
Like,
right.
I have a thing with people. I'm like, if we're doing this, you can pop down. You can say, like, as soon as I start laying color, you are not allowed here until the pickup day.
Yeah, exactly
Because
right.
I want
It's closed doors then.
Yeah, because that's for me. I want
That's the best part.
that surprise on your face when you show up. You know, it is. It's so much more than just obviously
selling a product.
Yeah, exactly. It's an experience. It's an end result. We had one a while ago, and then I'll tell this, and we'll wrap it up because I know it's getting late, and you got kids to get home to, and all that. But it's like there was on action years ago. There was I want to say it was a gentleman who had been planning a trip, and he had his terminal cancer.
Oh no.
And I think it was very, very close to them taking off, and the truck got stolen.
Oh, fuck off.
And and the Action Boys, I don't know all the behind the scenes, but the Action Boys, they went and I'm pretty sure they found this 80 for sale. They did like a weekend, 3-day, whatever kind of build, and went through everything they could at it in 3 days. It was like, 12-volt fridge suspension, whatever it was. That thing, all these years later, he'd gone on his trip, he'd done a thing, it had then been sold, and this young couple had it, and it showed up here.
Yeah, wow.
And it was showing all the signs of, whatever life it had had since then.
Yeah.
And so we got to do a closed-door respray and, refresh the bar work and rust proofing and all the other stuff that we do.
Sick.
And give it another birthday for
another 20 years.
family.
Easily. 100%.
And it was like that for me was really cool because it's, again, stories.
Yeah.
Like, and knowing where that came from and what that meant to that family originally, and now giving it that birthday to this new family for them to go and do it again. And it's like the old trucks, 200s maybe 200s. The 300s with a fucking alloy bonnet, they're not going to be recycled that many times.
I don't rate them personally. Like, though everyone goes, "Oh, you own a plastic car," you know. Okay, I own a collar. That's what I bought. Move on. Anyway, I love 80s and anything before that. Like I was brought up with my old man. Like he was very much into old muscle cars, hot rods, and motorbikes. Yeah. There's always something being built under my house growing up. So I was a very lucky kid, Yeah. But that's the golden age of cars, is when they were still made out of steel, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you could actually just sand it back and repaint it. Like you sand too hard on my car, it'll go clear, right? Like it'll be like that episode of The Simpsons where he rubs a burger on the wall.
No, I think there's a lot to be said for the experience that the customers get and what we personally get out of that as well.
Oh man. That's why I do it, man. I always say to all my customers when I've finished a big build, and all customers, they always say, thank you, Jesse. Like, thank you. And I go, all I ask is that you send me a photo.
First time you go out and get it dirty. I say the same thing.
And like I get these photos, and normally I'll set them as my wallpaper. Until I get a new one. And like the boys walk in, they're like, "Is that 80 we built?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Where are they?" And you're like, "Oh, it's DI." But it's the first time the kid's taken his car up DI. He's stoked. Never driven on DI. He's got his dad with him. That's memories he's never going to forget, man. And that shit's like, any money on the table, don't care. That shit's irreplaceable. Like you can't change that. Can't get rid of it.
It's that's a perfect time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up.
Call it.
We'll wrap it up. Mate, Jesse, the Wanderers, give us all your socials so people know where to find you.
Man, we got Instagram, Facebook. It's pretty much it. We're pretty simple. We're not like all those other people.
No, and it's the Wanderers. It's Brisbane.
Yeah, Wanderers Brisbane.
Very cool.
So if you want to find us, if you're looking for us, find us with the big orange collie. Otherwise, there'll be my ugly mug floating around in there somewhere. That's the Facebook group in there.
Yep.
Jump in, answer the question, say good day to the crew. And then once a week, we shout out to everyone. We say, you know, how are you this week?
Yeah.
So we jump in, and it's pretty simple. If you scroll down, you'll see there's probably one there from yesterday or something. It's just a quick little check-in we do with the crew. Just what's going on, man? You know, sometimes it's hard to actually use the words or reach out to someone.
Keep scrolling, buddy.
Yeah, keep going.
Well, you got merch and
there
everything
you
in
are.
there.
So we always use our love hearts. If you're fantastic, I'm getting there. I need reaching out. Shit's fucked, and I really need a friend right now. We try and keep that. Happens every week. And if you ever jump in there and you do need someone, there's plenty of support there within the group. And then if you do need further support, don't hesitate to reach out at any time. We've got plenty of counsellors and facilitators within the group that can support you through most things.
You got Lifeline on there and Beyond Blue. And
Yeah.
it's like funny. I look at that and go, purple heart for fantastic, yellow heart for getting there, red heart, I need reaching out, green heart, I'm in a dark place. I'm like, that's before breakfast most mornings. It's
Yeah,
just,
same.
Yeah. You go up and down, left and right, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. And for the most part, like you get to Wednesdays in your week. That's hump day, right? That's when we post this every week. And most of the time, you're probably sweet. I'm getting there. I'm good, you know.
Yeah.
But every now and then you go, fuck, I'm in a really bad place right now. I really need some, you know, someone to either snap me out of it or give me some bit of guidance, you know. And that's why we just do that. You know, most of the time I jump in there and it's purple and yellow hearts every day of the week, you know.
Very
and I
cool.
go, fuck yeah, the boys and girls. And it's great. It's awesome. But every now and then, you know, I jump in there. It's a green heart, and you know, just jump in there. Here's my number, man.
Very cool.
I'm gonna go have a beer. Do you want to catch up? We'll have a yarn.
Very cool.
Cost me nothing. So, no, it's a good thing to do, man. But yeah, if people are interested, obviously there's also the merch store on there. The guys have gotten in there and started a merch store, which is pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I have to get my hands on some shirts. We'll wear them down here.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Well, I love what you're doing. I think that's really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to getting out and doing some more wheeling once I get some more structure around my day.
Yeah.
And then we'll go out and get some stuff dirty.
Love it. Look forward to it, bro.
We'll go from there.
Love
Thank you very much, Jesse. Good luck with everything that you're doing. Good luck at Legendex, although you're under good tutorship.
Tutorship? Yeah.
Tutorship?
No,
Is that a word?
it's
We're just making shit up now.
Yeah, we'll check with the fact checkers.
Fuck that. Thanks very much for your time, buddy. Go home and be with the family, and we'll see you out there again.
You will. Thank you,
Awesome.
Ben.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.